Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pullze Check podcast. We have the final podcast of Urzikstan. And I'm ready. We got Verdansk coming in 2 days. And we got a lot to talk about. We got patch notes. You know, before we get, boys, am I high? Or did these patch notes was kind of, I mean, there's a couple of extra details, but it was kind of the same as the blog. Am I kind of like faded to
It
say
was
that?
mostly the same, but they went into a little bit more detail about thought processes.
Yes.
They also, after the fact, it looks like they went in and changed a couple lines of the patch notes because as the patch notes went live, I think they copied over the multiplayer for the Kali sticks. It went from 2, now it's up to 4.
Okay.
I think if you clear your cache, it'll be 4. And then also I saw Charlie Intel tweet about them, the thing where they removed the outline of the precision. They removed that from the patch. So that might not be a change that goes through with the patch.
Okay.
So,
all right, yeah.
But yeah, I think it was what we kind of expected, which is a W. And then maybe a couple little things in there that were good too.
Yeah, there's especially the movement side of things, right? There's it definitely does feel, I don't know. I have a couple questions, a couple concerns. We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, more or less, Mr. Ebatez, talk to me. What did you feel about the general patch notes going into Thursday?
I'm pretty excited. I mean, honestly, I think that the overall sentiment is everyone's pretty happy. I will say there was a couple things I want to get some clarity on because I know that we did the last podcast. We talked about like whether impact grenades were going to be in the game, and then now they're saying that they're going to be on only loadout, not ground loot.
Yeah,
so
which is weird.
I kind of want to. Yeah, I thought on the last patch notes we read that they were taking them out, but I guess they are keeping them in. So I kind of want to get some clarity on that. A couple things that they are changing. You know, obviously going back to a little bit of the OG feel. My only concern is that if they try to go too far OG, like, you know, it might be bad, but obviously they're going to make adjustments, feedback, whatever. But overall, I mean, dude, the sentiment that I've seen on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, TikTok, everything, like everyone seems pretty excited, and I'm just excited for Thursday, man. I feel like we're just in for a good time.
One thing I will add about the movement thing is people are so used to being negative, they jumped on it as a huge negative, saying that the movement was completely nerfed. When there's multiple buffs in there, buffs in there where I think drop shotting and snaking will be crazier. And they were jumping on it just because they're so used to being toxic about the game that people had to check them, and then they're like, "Oh, my bad, I didn't read it properly."
Dude, they thought it was gonna be like, I mean, the big nerfs are 4.9% movement speed, which we'll get into, right? Or sprinting speed, right? Reduction. And then,
but it's only lateral movement speed, not the forward.
I'm pretty sure, is it not forward?
Let me see.
I thought it was all speed across the board, but they did reduce lateral, pretty much all omni movement speed got reduced as well. And then the slide speed.
Sprint movement speed, reduced by 4.9. Okay. Yes. And then the directional animation blend speeds increased for improved fluidity. Whatever the hell that'll actually mean. It should be a good thing, but what does that actually mean?
That right there, I'm not gonna lie, that line is what gave me hope, because again, I don't know, but from what it sounds like, it like getting into the sprint laterally is probably gonna be quicker. So I don't know. That's what I'm getting from that little spiel. But we'll see. Before we continue, because we're gonna get into everything pretty extensively.
Also, it's kind of funny they did it by 4.9% instead of just 5
and not 5.
I don't know.
I like it. Ahead. At least we know they're being honest. You know. Hunter, talk to me, man. After seeing the patch notes, kind of what's your thought process? How you thinking, puppy? Are you kind of like, or are you pretty fucking excited?
No, I'm excited because I like the original Warzone. It was way more. How do I say it? It was way more fun in certain aspects. I like seeing that vehicles can be one-shotted by RPGs and C4. I don't like the impact grenades are still in there. It depends how they nerf them, but that's like the one thing I was like, because, man, like impacts are so strong, it changes the gameplay completely. So, I mean, they'll probably nerf it, but we'll see. Overall, great.
Yeah, I agree. 1000%. I think knowing, like, there's a couple things. It's weird. Have they ever done this to where they've actually made certain lethals and tacticals not in the game for like only loadouts? Have they done that before?
I think during Warzone 2 they did it for a few items, but they were shitty items that no one used, I believe. If I recall, I don't actually remember 100%, but I feel like that happened at a certain time.
Were Claymores ever ground loot? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't recall. Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, without further ado, fellas, there's a lot to discuss, and I don't know how long this podcast is going to be. But I've cleared out my entire schedule. You know, I'm ready to go. This is going to be a good one. So let's get in it. Let's get into it without further ado, fellas. JD, go ahead and give us the blog because there's a lot to discuss. And for anybody who doesn't know anything going on, we got you covered today. We got you covered. So season 3 patch notes. As you guys know, they are probably putting their all into this. Like, their goal is to bring a lot of people fucking back and keep them here, right? So let's just pray and hope that they've done a good job at that. So I don't want to, I think JD, just so you are aware, let's not get into the stuff that doesn't matter as much. Let's get into the stuff that actually people can talk about.
What's that cinematic? He's on the wrong one.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this looks like multiplayer.
Yeah, it's multiplayer zombies.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Global, it overlaps. It's on both of the patch notes.
Mm-hmm. But look, there it is. Perfect. So this is Ricochet and okay, we haven't discussed this on the podcast. This was last Friday. I want y'all's opinion on this. If there's anything that I think could really fuck up the game, it's this right here. It's the Ricochet, right? What do you guys think about what they said about the anti-cheat? Personally, I read a little bit about it. It just seemed like a whole bunch of nothing. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff that we've already known.
That was kind of my thought process too. One of the paragraphs that they did have on that Ricochet blog was that they were having additional enhancements and whatever, but they didn't really go into detail. The only thing that really is interesting is the couple of the leakers were like, well, this is actually different this time. I'm not sure the details of it, but it's server. That's how people got caught up in this like little temp ban thing. Plus, there were probably people that got actually banned. So there's certain server side detections that are different. And then also what's a little bit different is Sub 1 KD, which we've talked a little bit about before at some point on the pod. He did like a little bit of a breakdown of how the legal case with engine owning allowed it so that they could actually charge different people. Engine owning left the country, but a lot of the people that are service providers are not going to leave the country. They're not going to lose their assets or something. He talks a little bit more in depth. He did a full like little video on it. So I think there's a bunch of steps in the right direction, but it still has to work, right? And we won't know until cheaters are actually trying to break the system. Yeah. I look, like, I see the process, right? And like Ricochet, I've heard what people are saying that they don't want to reveal everything because then that'll give the cheating providers a better heads up. I think when it comes to the Ricochet, they can say everything that they want, right? We saw what they said in the last blog. Long story short, pretty much they said shadow bans. Let's talk about shadow bans real fast. Shadow bans make up 0.15% of the entire population. Now, a lot of people are speculating that this is not true. I personally think that that's true. I know that people are going to be mad. I think people they're like, oh, because we're looking at things from a very like narrow path, right? We're focused here, and we see the streamers, the tryhard, the non-casuals, and that's all we see on our TL, right? On our chat. Yeah, and then there's the loudest too, because obviously they're playing, they can't play.
So like here is where I'm kind of, I don't know. I said there's either one or two ways. They're either lying to us about it being 0.15% and it's actually a bigger issue, or there's just a lot more players than we actually think are playing the game right now. And the 0.15% are the ones that we all know, that the ones that like the loudest, the ones that we, streamers, the people who are on Twitch chat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Something that was even funnier in the blog, though, it said that 60% of reports are on console players.
I was about to get to that.
So it's more of opens up the debate is like, are people really that lack game knowledge? Or is aim assist truly that strong that people cannot tell the difference? That more console players are getting reported than PC players, regardless of input or peripheral.
That's insane.
It's definitely the players have no idea. They don't know the difference between actual like aimbot and aim assist, because as like someone who watches like a lot of competitive, obviously like we watch a lot of the top players, we know what like a good shot looks like. But to anyone that just doesn't really watch the game, they're just like, oh, that's hacks, because it looks very similar, because aim assist is just way too strong. You just can't tell. So like, I mean, we've preached this. Aim assist definitely needs a nerf, because like, dude, that's ridiculous. The fact that like people actually are comparing aimbot to aim assist is like sad. And like, I mean, I don't know. They're never going to change aim assist, but it is a huge problem. It's a huge part of the problem.
Look,
We also have to think about how there are a lot of cheaters. So if you run into cheaters constantly, you're gonna, you know, get cooked by somebody and think they're cheating. I think that's definitely an issue too.
Yeah. There's a culture of reporting because people don't trust the product. They don't trust the game. They have a track record of being cheated on in game. It's like one of those things where you just assume more people are cheating. And then when you actually take a step back to analyze it, then maybe they're not. We also lost access to the API, which allowed us to cross-reference our beliefs. If you pulled up somebody's account and said they were a 1.5, you'd be like, nah, I just got shitted on. But now you really can't know. So you just assume they had good stats and that they were cheating.
Yeah. There's a lot to encompass here. Like, as far as there's it's not just one single problem that causes this whole anti-cheat and why everybody's just so mad. I'll say this, like right now, currently, April 1st, Season 3 is not out yet. I don't believe in Ricochet. I don't believe that they've done any big changes, right? Like, I think this is going to be one of those things where, hey, when the game launches on Thursday, how is the game actually going to feel? Is it going to feel like no cheaters? The big test is going to be when Season 3.5 comes out and Ranked comes out for Verdansk. That's going to be able to tell, or
even sooner, multiplayer might have Ranked before then, and then that'll be another indicator because they've been saturated with cheaters well before Warzone, and even worse at the highest end in the brackets of Ranked.
Yeah. Look, man, it's again, there's a lot here. I think aim assist is incredibly broken. That shit was not this fucking broken back in Warzone 1. Obviously, Call of Duty is doing the best they can to try and, in the nicest way possible, they said, yo, y'all don't know what a hacker actually looks like. 60% of y'all are reporting fucking console players, right? Like, so they added that little, which we'll get into right now, the death recap and why you died, et cetera, et cetera.
Which are good quality of lives. It just is, but yeah.
So look, I when it comes to anti-cheat, this is one of the things that will kill the game if it's not good. But I will say that the anti-cheat, I don't think they can really tell us anything about it. When it comes to shadow bans, here's my suggestion. There should be no such thing as a shadow ban loop. They said, oh, the shadow ban system is super important. Okay, well, if somebody gets shadow banned, after they get reviewed that, hey, they're not cheating, they should no longer be subjected to a shadow ban. If you get shadow, or the next thing you should get is banned, right? And that doesn't mean, no, you should have 100%, like whatever the AI bullshit they use should be able to detect if you have hacked or not. And if they cannot detect it, they no longer shadow ban you. You only get shadow banned once and that's it. Like, I don't know, this whole shadow ban loop is just stupid. If you get shadow banned, right? They detected something, right? So if they let you free, that obviously means they don't have probable cause to keep you quote unquote locked up. So then just
technically they do. Technically they do.
No, they admitted that their AI systems.
Okay, hold on. Let me slow you down here.
Yeah. Go.
I can give you two scenarios. Someone who's cheated. Let me give you a scenario. Someone that's cheated and someone that did nothing and they're both shadow banned. Someone I know.
Okay.
He's in top 250 multiplayer. He played for 3 months straight on console only ranked play. He's top 250. He's never let somebody use his account. He's never done a camo glitch, never done any of that. He got shadow banned randomly. He's still shadow banned, and he's going to be shadow banned when the season ends, so he won't get his top 250 camo. He won't get his rewards from being in top 250. Somebody else I saw got shadow banned. They were cheating, but they got unshadow banned. And when they got shadow banned, they let the cheat provider know, hey, I got shadow banned. They paused their subscription. When they got unshadow banned, they gave them little rewards, like welcome back rewards, and they were able to cheat again. So the shadow ban system is like,
bro, see, that's a problem in and of itself. Like, if they can, that's insane to me that a guy's actually cheating, gets shadow banned, and then doesn't get fucking detected. Like, bro, that's fuck what I said 2 minutes ago. Then, that's just a horrible anti-cheat. Like, we shouldn't even be dealing with that shit. Like, I'm talking about the players that, like, the dongies, the sages, all these guys, even players in the chat, people that are fucking, watching this right now that are not cheating. Your friend, that's who I'm kind of vouching for here. Like, if they're getting shadowed and they obviously are not cheating, well, like, bro, stop putting them in a fucking loop. But, bro, if you're telling me that somebody that fucking hacked their ass off, came back and
I don't know them. I don't know them.
What?
I don't know them personally.
Like, fuck.
I saw they told me about this in my YouTube comment section. They're like, yeah, I got banned, and I told the cheat provider, and they paused my subscription. Then when I was shadow banned, they gave me little perks and rewards as like a welcome back. Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy that people can play on the main stage, get invited to these events, but then when it comes to getting shadow banned, they can't help them out.
They can't help them.
It's
Yeah,
like a constant loop.
It's fucked.
It's a very odd system for sure.
Yeah, look, man, this whole AI bullshit. Like, I don't know, like that. Obviously, it ain't fucking working. I'm gonna get checked, so I'm gonna stop talking about this. But I will say, like, brother, they gotta figure this out. And I hope in season 3 on Thursday that there is a significant decline of hackers. I'll tell you this right now. I'm gonna get tagged in something on Twitter, TikTok, whatever the fuck. There probably will be hackers, right? Again, going back to, and I quote, what's his name, GamerDoc, right? He's like one of the cheat providers of Valorant. If there can be
not cheat
one
provider.
every 100,
he's the anti-cheat team, not cheat provider.
anti-cheat guy. Yeah, sorry. Fucking whatever the fuck. If he said, like, in his eyes, I think it was if 1 out of every 50 games or 1 out of every 100, I don't know what it exactly was. To him, that's a success, right? There's always going to be cheats in the game. That's just sadly, it's inevitable. But right now, it's 1 every game, 1 every other game. Like, come on, if we can get it 1 every 50 games. That's a good fucking spot, right? So enough rant from me, but that's just, I don't know, the Ricochet.
I'll jump on it too with this camo swapping nonsense and people claiming like they knew they were breaking the rules when they camo swap a pack-a-punch camo onto their gun, which was clearly unlock tooled. Like,
yeah,
I think that's another problem. Like,
yeah, who would do that? That's actually disgusting.
Who the fuck would do that? You fucking scumbags.
Did you do that too, Ebatez, or
gross. What? Oh, I didn't do it. I would never set that example, JGOD. I would never set that example.
Hey. No, but I think those things happening too are really bad on the look of the streamer side in general. Cool for content, I guess, but it's like if COD made an example out of someone like Jarvis with Fortnite, people would straighten up their act on the dumb shit. I promise you.
Hey, I will say though, like, I can promise you after that fucking, what's it called? After everybody, literally, bro, it feels like 90% of fucking people got banned because of the camel swap thing. I promise you that ain't nobody doing anything close to fucking.
Yeah, nobody's trying anything now.
Because that camel swap was in the game, like in Black Ops Cold War.
There's been different iterations of it. There's been different iterations
of it. Not the
it.
version where you get pack-a-punch guns, though.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
No, that's totally different. Those are clearly stolen assets.
So that
right
should
there
not
be equipable.
Why probably a lot of people were like, oh, like they don't give a fuck about camos. They got like, they can't even detect fucking actual cheaters. Who cares about camos, right? And then sure enough, they fucking hit 90% of the community with that shit, you know? Like, so good. I personally think that nobody will be doing that shit no more.
I will say, I feel like camos that you could use on like Modern Warfare 3 guns and other guns, bro, they should all transfer over. We should be able to use Obsidian on any Black Ops 6 gun.
Although I agree, it doesn't give the player the right to circumvent the rules.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But if there's anything I've learned, it's like, okay, if it's possible where I can use Obsidian on my Black Ops 6 guns, why can't we just have that? Like, that's so cool that you could use other camos.
I agree.
On those newer weapons. Like, we should be able to recycle camos that we love and whatever. Like, we shouldn't just like lose those if they're in the game. It's obviously possible.
I want my Pullze Check camo on fucking Black Ops 6 guns, all right, man? That's fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
I paid what for that fanny pack. I paid $100 for that fanny pack. I didn't actually pay for it. But like, dude, somebody in chat just said, here's the code for this fucking camo. I said, fuck yeah. But like, why can't I have that shit on my regular guns, twin? You know, it is what it is. But anyways, all right, let's get into the actual notes. Here's to fucking praying and hoping that the anti-cheat actually fucking works, right? When it comes to the battle pass, boys, I'm gonna be honest, unless you guys feel like we actually should, I don't care too much about the battle pass and the rewards unless there's something that you guys think is worth talking about. I more want to get into the things that are actually changing and what
just
most
to clarify, because
you know?
people, even after all the seasons we've had, like the 14 seasons or 15 seasons of the game, the weapons are completely free. You don't need to buy the battle pass. You may get bonus, XP, whatever. The battle passes are based off time. 42-ish minutes, you'll get a tier. So if you want items, you just got to play the game. There's not like there's some special XP farm method. You get the 2 weapons. That's it. Easy. You don't need to spend any money on this game. If you do use COD points to get the battle pass, the the regular, you'll get the COD points back. It's a pretty straightforward system we've had for like 15, 20 seasons or something stupid. Like, it's crazy. But yes.
I love that they actually made, what's it called? That they made the default loadouts. Guys, they hired JGOD. JGOD made a bag off that. You know what I'm saying, bro? He trademarked
which one?
it. I'm trolling.
The default
loadouts.
Hey, no. I got told it wasn't my idea, but.
Oh, they lied. All right, man. So let's go down. We know the Battle Pass stuff. Console crossplay. Does anybody want to go over this? They did change a couple things, but this is more for Black Ops 6, not necessarily Warzone. Only in Warzone rank play.
It's just a trend that likely it'll end up making its way to Warzone. Right now, they're just going to do multiplayer for a specific playlist only. So we'll see. So not a big deal
right
for
here,
Warzone.
Long story short, they're making for multiplayer rank play, Warzone rank play, and multiplayer unranked, you can now turn off crossplay. So multiplayer, you can go in and have console only lobbies, so you know you're not getting hacked on. And strictly for just multiplayer. Warzone, you still gonna play against. There's no way to turn it off unless
it's only for ranked.
It's unranked play. Yeah, unless it's unranked play. So some changes that could potentially lead to. I hate to say it, but these changes could potentially lead to everybody switching to straight console only. Like eventually, if they don't get to that, you know.
The problem we had last season, I won't go on too long, but the problem we had with the console only stuff is that once players hit iridescent, they stopped playing because every game that you got into, there was like such a low amount of like players in console only, where you're just constantly recycling teams, and every game was just people teaming. So it's like, because there's not a lot of lobbies going at the same time, it was so easy to get in your friend's lobby. So people were queuing up like 4 or 5 teams at a time, running around as a 20 man stack, and it literally completely killed like console only ranked. Like, you could not get a lobby this like the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, unless you queued for like an hour and a half. So that's the only problem with console only ranked. It's so easy to kind of like queue snipe, so you get in the same lobby as your friends, and people were just teaming and like nothing was happening.
But they've already made statements about that. They just have to enforce it. I don't know if there has been any enforcing, because people did get removed from the leaderboard. But obviously, if that gets enforced and somebody gets banned for that, then people just stop that behavior, right? It's a deterrent.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they actually have to do it.
A couple side notes that in chat's reminding me, just for those that don't know, they are the whole teaming situation. Did they mention that? I know they talked about in the creator call, which we can talk about. But the whole SR stuff in the creator call, I don't think they mentioned that anywhere, right?
I don't think I've seen that anywhere. I'll be honest, I think that was just for multi-ranked. I could be wrong, unless it was Warzone as well.
It's probably for multi-rank, but it will go over to Warzone rank when they do the season 3.5 patch notes. Yeah,
but you should talk about it for sure.
Long story short, they mentioned that for multiplayer, right? So we're assuming that it's going to go to Warzone in season 3.5 when Verdansk comes, right? They pretty much said in the creator call, the lead ranked guy said that SR, you will now get SR back if you're in a lobby with a cheater, and if you lose SR in that lobby, you'll get SR back if you get hacked on or whatever. And then on top of that, for people that are teaming, if that player has plays enough with cheaters, I believe they said that they're gonna remove SR from that person, right?
Yeah,
I think that's what they said.
Because realistically, the issue is like, so if you're playing with a cheater over and over and over again, there are instances where people genuinely don't know if their teammates are hacking. Like, there are times but so that's what they're trying to avoid, is like, they don't want to just ban people that are playing with cheaters, because there are going to be instances where people are playing with hackers when they really, really don't know. Like, you know what I mean? They could just be like, oh, this guy's just a beast. So that they're going to give them a warning, basically, like, hey, you're playing with a hacker, and then if it continues to happen, then they'll probably like temporary ban them and then ban them if they're playing with cheaters like over and over again.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Just some extra stuff that I forgot to mention earlier. All right, JD, we can go down. Let's go down. The same thing as always. Preloader. We can keep going. Again, boys, stop me if there's anything here that you guys want to actually go over. Customization. This is a pretty cool one. So, long story short, and boys, correct me if I'm wrong. You're now going to be able to use your blueprints on the guns, right? But it's gonna, like, the visual blueprint will stay now. That's what I got from this.
You can
This
mix
is
and
what we
match
used to have.
blueprints that you have.
Yes.
It's been like
what
this
we
with
used
every
to
single
have.
game ever. Yeah, it's not. This is not anything new. Well, it's new for Black
where you
Ops
could
6, but in
use-
general, it's not.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, so like, okay. So you're saying like, if you have mono suppressor and it looks like a fucking, like a dragon, right? You can put that mono suppressor that looks like a dragon on any other gun?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, this was in Warzone 1.
Yeah. This
This is
was
Yeah, it
Warzone.
was. It was
Okay.
in every single Warzone iteration title we've had.
Except for BO6 integration?
They don't ever do it at launch. It's always afterwards.
I'm hearing that. Okay. So yeah, for those of y'all that like that, it's back. Black Cell Daily Challenges, we can keep going. This is all stuff that doesn't matter. All right. This is the actual good shit. Let's get into the actual stuff for Warzone.
Wait, no,
right?
the Black Cell thing does matter if you think about
tell
it,
me,
because
what
they're
is it?
trying to turn Call of. It seems like with Black Cell, they're trying to turn it into a subscription base thing where you get more rewards outside the battle pass, and this is kind of looks like the first step. So just like Netflix or Hulu or Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you pay for it, looks like they're starting to head towards the, hey, you buy Black Cell, you get these perks outside the battle pass kind of thing.
There's been
'Cause
multiple as well. This is just like the fourth or fifth thing that they've added, where it's like, oh, Black
Yeah.
Cell, you get this extra bonus. And they've already
you can see
started
they're
doing it with
slowly
the regular
integrating it.
events, where they give you an alternate blueprint.
Yeah.
Damn. So I actually didn't even like look at it like that. So pretty much you get 7,500 XP each for multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone for daily challenges. So that's a total of fucking, somebody do the quick maths, bro. 22.5 thousand XP every day that you can get extra. So that way you level up faster. And I'm assuming this will transfer over to your guns as well.
I
That's
think it's cool
daily.
that they add value, but the reality is people who buy the Black Cell already beyond the max level that matters. So these XP is just irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
So
Like maybe if this was like preseason or season 1, sure, I get extra XP like way back then when I'm grinding a Prestige 10 or whatever, but we're already well beyond that. If you're
now
a
it's
Black
kinda
Cell
like, yeah.
buyer, you should be Master Prestige, no question.
all right, let's go
Like
down.
why else are you wasting your money? Like what?
So here, look, I hope that this means that we're gonna get some cool shit added to the game. We've had them before, but then they never really expanded off of them. You get rewards for returning back to Verdansk, and if you've been a long time or OG player, you get a parachute, a gun screen, and a contrail. Let's talk about that real quick. Parachutes, I think we've had like in Black Cell. Did I lag out?
No, you're
You're
good.
still here.
yeah,
The camera's
you're-
frozen a little bit.
yeah,
You're
Your
good.
camera
just
just
freezes.
clipping every once in a while.
So fucking weird. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so yeah, the contrails are parachutes. We've had them before in Black Cells, but I don't think they ever expanded off of that, right? Like, there's never been like a bundle that gives you that shit, right? It's only been Black Cell.
I would love to see them expand off this though. Like this is such a huge marketing opportunity, especially from like Fortnite and stuff. Like everyone that had like the different umbrellas and stuff like that it's just such a different feel. So I would like to see them expand on this. I don't know why they haven't already.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's
So-
like a secret Easter egg you can do on Rebirth to get it, but that's like pretty much it.
So it's not like you can't.
Nothing else.
They've never sold any actual parachutes.
Other than
Correct.
Black Cell, no.
Okay. Yeah. So I hope they can kind of expand off that. I don't know if that's like, we saw it in Warzone 2 and then they just never evolved it off of that. So I don't fucking know. Contrails as well. I hope to see them like have fucking crazy contrails that you can change and shit on the way down. It's weird. Like you would think with a company that cares a lot about microtransactions, that they would
100%.
do things like this. Like even the
It is
knife, they
odd,
took-
yeah.
it took forever to do pull out your knife that you can have cool knives and shit, right? Like it's very weird. Besides whatever, but they heard my man Hunter and they said Milsim is back, baby. So they got Domino skins and the Milsim USEF skin coming back for, I think both of those. I think you just get them at launch, right? You just log in and then you get
Yeah,
them.
you just log in. Yeah.
Yes.
Same
What's
thing
interesting
with
is
the Kilo.
their entire marketing for Verdansk is like making it look like Warzone 1 by not showing all the crazy stuff they usually show. That was just interesting.
Now, do
Yeah,
you guys
there's
think
no bunny skin in the trailer.
no Nicki Minaj?
It's literally just military skins, which is interesting. 'Cause-
So okay, Hunter, do you think they'll ever do that? And I see in the chat, and I've seen it like on Reddit and like shit, where they'll turn off visually
no,
operators that have crazy fucking
no,
Okay,
not a chance. Because if people are wearing the skin, it's like free promotion.
true. True.
And
Yeah.
technically, it's cool they added these two characters, but every single skin from Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2019 and before that is usable on the new engine. Like the Black Rose skin. I literally saw this guy. It's the same guy I was talking about that messes with the game, and like he was using the HDR in the MW3 campaign. He was able to load in every single Modern Warfare 2019 skin from Season 5 and before into Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. So they could technically add every single skin if they wanted to, but
Yeah.
they don't.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I know there's people that like that shit, that like the milsim, and people that like the crazy shit, right? I don't know if they would ever do it. If they would just add a setting, hey, if you don't like the crazy shit, just click this button. I don't know how hard that is, right? But
the thing is, though, is the milsim skins, they were literally just like battle pass rewards that were random tiers. Like now you get gobblegums where you use them one time and that's it. I feel like they should add skins that are already in the game. That just makes sense to me. Like campaign skins are already there. It's not like they have to make anything. You could replace gobblegums, but whatever.
Do you think that those shits? I mean, obviously that's black sale or like battle pass. But do you think why they don't make as many of them is because they just don't sell as good? I assume.
Well, they didn't really sell them. They were just battle pass. Like they were in the battle pass, and they would come with a lot in a battle pass. It'd come with like 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and they didn't impact the actual battle pass. It was just like on the side.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's then I didn't go over these two. They're gonna have Cali sticks as well, and then this Trailblazer skin. Apparently, from what we heard in the creator call, is just gonna be really rare. And he said if you're a grinder, you'll get it, and you have like just doing the challenges, going through different POIs and opening up boxes. There's a chance that you'll get this skin. They made it seem like this skin is gonna be rare. How rare? I don't know. Maybe they over, hyped it, I guess, or if it's actually gonna be rare. But they said for the people that actually grind the game, this Trailblazer skin, it's random. You just open up the crates and shit for the event, and you have a small chance of getting the skin. So we'll see how rare that actually is. Let's scroll down. Ugh. So yeah, we saw this stuff. All right, yo. First of all, what did y'all think about the trailer, fellas?
Oh, quick note before the Kilo, everyone's going to get access to it. Warzone will be shut down, but they've also made it so that multiplayer will be free to play, I believe. So that if you want to level up the Kilo before the Warzone, you'll be able to log into Warzone. It won't be playable, but you'll log in, and then you can go jump over to multiplayer and level up your gun, even if you're a free-to-play player. You can do it tomorrow and not complain about it on Thursday that you didn't have the gun leveled. Or you could just do the default loadout. That's up to you. Yeah. I'm gonna call them the JGOD loadouts. We gotta trademark that shit, JGOD. Come on, man. Okay. All right. Let's scroll down, man. Okay, so pretty much Verdansk. Welcome home. We went over this in the blog, but we'll go over this fairly quickly. Ebatez, you got me on these ones? Just kind of go over these real quick.
Yeah. You want to just read from the top and just go down?
You could just go from like the bullet points. The tree slightly repositioned. Okay. So these are little changes that you're going to see, chat, from OG Verdansk to now.
Yeah, tree slightly repositioned from the original map. I know this is the first point, but I'm actually very curious to see how this plays out, because trees, natural cover, we've talked about it, are a huge impact on how the game plays out. So that's a big one. I know they start off with that, so that's a huge one I kind of wanted to talk about real quick.
For Verdansk specifically, it was a big deal.
Yes. Non-drivable vehicles clearly marked as smoldering wreckage. Swimming now possible. Southern coastline expanded the Castovian Sea. So this is on that south side of prison and stuff like that, which I highly doubt that anyone's ever going to be swimming around there. It's probably just more so that if people want to regain or whatever, just, I don't know. People like swimming. So if it's there. Yeah, it's there if you want it. So that's that. Improved traversal in steep areas, new goat trails. I would actually like to talk about this. We should talk about this amongst the group, because I think this is so massive on how the flow of Verdansk is going to go. I know they have one on the left side of Dam and then Prison, but I didn't see any others, and I want to know if you guys saw
the Prison
any others.
one. I haven't seen any other ones, but the Prison one is a big one, because that one, I feel like we had a lot of end zones there, and if you were stuck at the bottom of that fucking mountain, G's, buddy, you're not.
Yeah, you have to go
up.
a long way around. There's no space.
Yeah.
Well, there were zip lines. There were zip lines
on the bridge. Yes,
on the bridge.
Yeah, and the bridge and the backsides are where.
It was but it was one of those things where bro.
You're dead going up there. There's because also the animations were trash too, because it was the old zips with the A instead of the T.
Yep.
Or L or whatever.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited for these. I just hope that they make things more climbable.
Yeah, 100%. Shorter telephone electrical poles for easier parachute landings.
For Evan.
Additional ladders, and adjusted paths to rooftops for better accessibility. That's awesome.
Fire.
It sounds good on paper. We'll see how it plays out. Doors now double hinged, allowing barging, shooting, or blowing up open close. I think this is just the addition of like Black Ops 6 mechanics, right, with the doors and stuff. Ascenders returning mid-season, already available in plunder mode, updated the faster L shape. How do you guys feel about this, by the way? Because I'm curious. I'm surprised they're not putting it off drop. Do you think they just want people to like kind of have that original experience before they add them, or?
I think what they want is probably feedback. So they're gonna what it seems like they're going to give us without them, then mid-season give it to us with it, and then they're gonna ask or take the feedback from the community and be like, all right, what do you guys like better? I think
Got it.
with Ascenders is probably the play, but it has to be only on certain areas, right? Like there's certain things that outside Ascenders make sense, and there's certain things where it's like, hey, like, that doesn't make as much sense. You don't want to have too crazy. There's a fine middle ground here, and I think that's what they're trying to figure out. But just in my opinion.
Okay. The next one here says enhanced exterior lighting, improved visibility, and reduced glare. And I know Hunter, you talked about a lot about that with the like images and stuff. Do you think are you excited for this? Like, do you think this is going to make a huge difference, or do you think it's just going to be pretty similar how we have it?
Oh, 100%. Because anyone that plays Urzikstan knows the lighting is cooked right now. Whether you're looking into a room or you're in a room, oh, it's so bad. Especially if the glass isn't broken, you can't see anything. And without that tracker perk, it's so bad. I think they added tracker because of the lighting situation. I think that was a huge factor for that. Because without that, it would be
I definitely
bad.
agree.
All right, next one, Bubby.
Hopefully good. Interior lighting adjusted to reduce hiding spots, especially in dark corners. Added detail enhancements such as extra debris and scenery around fire stations and riverbanks. That one's probably just more of like a graphics kind of thing. And
that's more just to make the POIs feel like blend a little bit better. It's not really that big of a deal, but yeah, it makes it where it feel like you're not going from square to square. It feels more blended, which is whatever.
Okay. And then for console players, the ability to view Verdansk up to 120 FOV for the first time. For full breakdown, check out their guide here. So pretty exciting stuff, honestly. Those bullet points are, like I said, on paper they sound very good, but we're just gonna have to see how they look.
You know, I know. We hate Reddit over here, but I went on Reddit today. I got a notey says, "Oh, Verdansk coming back. What do you think?" or whatever. And bro, I was
they're positive, right?
Yeah, bro. I was pleasantly surprised to see Reddit actually being not toxic as fuck, and people seem to be fairly excited for Verdansk's return. And I don't know if that's the casual player base or whatever the fuck, but all I've ever seen is Black Ops 6 fucking sucks. This game's horrible. It's dying. And then like I went to Reddit and I was like, oh, people seem to be kind of excited. So, we'll see. Then we got Gulag showers, fellas. This is the original Gulag back from 2020 with 3 variations that I guess will alternate. And then we will have Capture the Flag back instead of the Ascender shit. We did go over this last week's podcast. I like this. I like this better than the Ascenders. So fire. Scroll down, pops. Oh, speaking
they didn't show some of the extra notes here. The Gulag won't have tacticals and lethals all over the floor. It won't have money, and they said it won't have plates. There's no plates anymore.
Yeah,
and the Gulag. Well, I think like normal play, like what majority of people play, it won't have plates. And then I saw that the gun you get in the Gulag depends on what circle it is. So if it's like early on, it's pistols.
It shows that in a little bit. And then I think also the other part is there are only smokes in the Gulag for your tactical, and your lethal could be a frag, a thermite, or it's on the
Molotov,
list.
I think.
Yeah, Molotov.
Yeah, I think that's fucking fire. Like, to be fair, I would have liked it to just stay pistols across the board and not have any guns. That's just me. I know keyboard mouse hate that probably, but yeah, I mean, it's not like, I think it's circle 1. It's just pistols across the board. Circle 2 and on is C9, PP, and Asval. And then every circle from there just adds an attachment. But then I think there's like circle 3 and 5 or circle 3
there's
to 5.
There's different variations until the Gulag closes. Yeah.
Well, that's good because oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't really like smokes in the Gulag. I don't know. I'm not like a huge advocate for that. So hopefully, I just feel like right now it plays super bad, but I don't know. That's just kind of like my.
Sounds like what a controller user would say.
Dude,
That's the only defense for a keyboard and mouse, bro. They just throw
just
smoke,
blindly,
and then their opponent goes like
firing.
this.
Yeah. I'll see you in the Gulag, JGOD. I'll see you in the Gulag, man.
Hey, I've been undefeated in the Gulag for 3 years.
Damn. all right, let's go down. Returning, guys. Oh, wow. It's kind of crazy. Lucky comes in the stream right when we start talking about Rebirth Island. Rebirth Island will be back, but it'll be gone for, I believe they said for like the first couple hours of Verdansk's launch, but it will be back the same day, just a little bit like later in the day.
I did ask a question in the creator call, and let me quote it real quick so I don't miss it. But I basically asked if like I was going to ask if like Resurgence was going to change at all. So as far as like the economy, contract, stuff like that, and they said that there are no changes as far as they're informed right now for Resurgence. So Resurgence basically is going to be staying the same as far as like contracts and pacing and economy and stuff like that. That's what I was told.
Are you sure?
But the blog and the patch said otherwise. It said that the multipliers will be there, and
that's what I asked.
The pricing will be different.
They said they removed the contract where you shoot down the drones. That's not even in big map, and they're removing those. That's only a Resurgence thing.
Yeah,
only Resurgence thing. Yeah, true. Well,
wait,
here's what
are you sure? Because
here was the question. I'll read you. I said,
yeah.
Do you know for Resurgence? And then in parentheses, I put contracts and economy. Are they staying the same? Also, if there will be loadout like crates or like the loadout, like the favorite loadout boxes on big map. So they said there won't be like the favorite loadout boxes on big map. And then they said, as far as Resurgence, as far as we're informed, there are no changes. So that's what I was told, but could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure in the patch notes which we're going over, I'm pretty sure it's changing. Even the whole,
okay.
And this is because, dude, honestly, in the call, I'm pretty sure they asked this. The no buying guns is going to be in Resurgence. Like, in the call we talked about, and I think in the patch notes too,
right.
Like, it's going to be one-to-one. So, speaking of Resurgence, how much do you think that's going to affect? I will say I like that they did that they changed the prices. So if you're a solo, it's 6,000 for loadout, and then everything else is 10K. So I'm curious to see how this affects Resurgence. Me personally, I do like that Resurgence is kind of like a sandbox and let people do whatever the fuck they want, and it's a little bit faster paced, right? I wonder if this is gonna affect Resurgence in a bad way, where it's like it's slowed down. Like technically speaking, they're slowing it down. So
yeah, because in the past,
I don't know how that's gonna,
in the past, we've seen Resurgence kind of carry over to BR, and it literally ruined the game modes. So now if they do this the opposite, where if they're taking BR and putting it into Resurgence, it might ruin the game modes. So that's why I kind of hope they can kind of
how's it going back to, how's it taking out Resurgence? Because Resurgence was fine in Vanguard and fine in Cold War.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Warzone 2
you think it'll be okay?
It was just fine.
Yeah, you don't need your loadout gun. They just need good floor loot.
Okay. All right.
Off drip, and you just buy a loadout for 6K or 10K. 10K amongst 4 players.
Yeah, but it just depends how, if money's not like flowing, like how it is right now, then it just might slow down the Resurgence game mode.
Plus chests actually drop loot, you'll be fine.
The only thing that
you'll know where the gold chests are.
That. When it comes to that stuff, that's not even where I think it's gonna make the biggest change. I think buying your gun individually is where things might feel different, right? Because right now, maybe that's a good change. That might even be a good change. It's like right now, people are going to, like right away, you play this game, somebody's going to have their loaded gun right off rip. Like people get 2.5K easily and just buy their gun right away. So I guess we can speculate all we want, but I'm curious to see how it changes.
I think it'll be fine though. I think regaining might be a little bit different because it's not like you could just land, get a gun, and then go get your guns back with your perks or whatever. But we'll see. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go down. So we got modes. These are a couple new ones. We got Battle Royale Casual, which is pretty much 148 players, 28 actual players, and 120 bots. This is for players like Lucky Chamu, Ebatez. They want to get their feet wet and learn how to play the game. They'll play this. They'll lock in. And get the flow down. Right. My Ashley, my fiance, she'll play this and just learn how to play. Right. But then after that, they also have, it's different than boot camp, which we'll go into, but you can scroll down. Now, this one I'm super excited for. This is high trip mode, and they told us in the creator call, this is going to be 150 players Verdansk high trip mode. I don't know what it's going to entail, but this shit seems fucking fire. Like, I loved high trip in Rebirth. Bro, Listen, man, me and the boys gonna smoke Delta 8 and go crazy on this, bro. We gonna go crazy, bro. But this low key looks fire as fuck, and I assume mid-season update it'll come. I'm excited for this one, bro. Scroll down. Now we got returning Battle Royale. As you guys know, solos, duos, and trios is 150 players, but quads is 152, back to OG. And things are changing when it comes to the actual circle timing, which I don't think they get into here. We'll get into a little bit more later. So let's keep scrolling. And Plunder at launch. We know Plunder. We can keep going, bro. Warzone Bootcamp. It is the same as it is now. Don't get it confused with Warzone Casual. This is 20 players, 24 bots. Yeah. You know what's funny? I can already see the YouTube comments being like, "What is this lobby, bro? Is this Warzone? What's the other one called? What did we went over above?
Casual.
Casual.
Yeah, Warzone Casual. Is this Warzone Casual? I already know.
You
the
can
comments.
tell immediately. You can tell immediately because the bots don't drop plates.
Somebody said Aiden's already been testing this in his lobbies.
Yeah, that's a big joke.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane, bro. All right, let's go down. Then we have Resurgence. As you guys know, it'll be in the launch window here. It will be Warzone Quads will be shortly launched after season 3 the same day. So for those of you that only play Resurgence, don't worry. It'll only be gone for a little bit, and Rebirth will be back on Thursday as well, but just a little bit later throughout the day. Let's scroll down. Now, playlist. If you guys care about this, scroll down. Take a little screenshot of this. This will be the playlist for April 3rd through the 10th, and then it'll change after that. Let's go to the next thing, puppy. Rank play. Okay. So, long story short, we will not be getting rank play on launch. We'll get rank play season 3.5, and everybody will get reset back to 0 or bronze, and you'll have to start from scratch. At season 4, you'll get your soft reset like normal. But again, I don't even know if I'm going to play it. We'll see. I don't really feel like I want to. I want to focus more on content. And
this just sounds like hell. Like after season 2 of ranked, I don't even care about this, man.
Yeah, I know. Some people are going to love this.
I think a lot of people will just come down to how often the teaming or the cheaters are being handled. That's really what it comes down to. They're being handled appropriately. True. People grind it because it'll feel fair.
Bro,
if
after
not,
getting
then
bullied,
it'll be an issue.
After getting bullied these past 2 seasons or 3 seasons, I just can't.
Yeah. So look, we'll see about this one. I don't know. I have low expectations when it comes to ranked. Just because of the anti-cheat, and even then, I feel like they really fucked it up. Like, have they cleared out anybody in right as of right now in the cheaters at top 250? Have they? Because bro, they love multiplayer. The devs over there, they love multiplayer. They clear out the cheaters like a week before the end of the season. They clear out for Warzone. They don't clear out the Warzone leaderboard until after the season ends. So you don't even know who was actually cheating, right? There's a couple people, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a couple people in that top 10 list right now that like I've been told from, behind the scenes are hacking. And these are like people that, not streamers or anything like that, but just like, right? I've seen them in chat a couple times, et cetera, et cetera. And people said, these guys, I would like to know if they got removed. Okay, then that'll tell me, they're fucking hacking, right?
Yeah, well, the thing with the cheating too is this one. I put a video out about the ranked thing, and this guy that was cheating, and he was in top 10, and I don't know if he got removed, but a bunch of people in my comments are saying like, bro, this guy's been cheating since Modern Warfare 2 ranked play. Yeah, and like he doesn't stream, doesn't make content, now that he's just been cheating like crazy, and he's very obviously cheating, and he was still on there, so it just makes me not want to play because there's no integrity with the cheating thing right now.
What's that guy's name? It's the same guy that's on Fortune's Keep Ranked, bro. I forgot his name, but yes, there are a couple of cheaters. Yeah, so it sucks that they wait till after the fact, but it is what it is. All right, let's go down. Classic. This is, what is this? Oh, yeah, same thing we went over a little bit earlier. 150 players, 152 in quads, and they said we tipped our hat. Yeah, they ran this in season 2 Reloaded in Urzikstan, and it played pretty well. Maybe a little bit too crazy. I don't know. I thought it was fun. But just a lot of ways to come back, which kind of sucks. But let's keep going. Ebatez, can you take over? I'm gonna try to fix this thing real quick. This no worries. This is lagging.
We've talked about this a little bit, but freefall shooting, players can now shoot while free falling, also known as skydiving, using their secondary weapon. If no secondary weapon is equipped, they will default to their backup pistol. So I feel like this kind of confirms that you're allowed to use a different gun in the air, not just the pistol, kind of like we talked about with the water. I don't know if this means like secondary, as in like if you have overkill, you could use your secondary on that. But I don't know, JGOD, what do you think about this?
You won't
like
be able to fire
only
in the sky unless you have a pistol.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to pull out some shitty 9mm pistol.
Right. Okay. And then yeah, I'll just.
Well, that's not that
You
big
won't
of a
be able to
deal.
fire- Yeah, you won't be able to fire the XM4 out of the sky. The C9, none of these will be able to fire.
Well,
out of the
you were
sky.
never. You're not gonna be able to really fly like that anyway, so it's not like
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no balloons, there's no whatever. So
Besides
yeah,
like
it's not an issue.
Gulag, that's what I'm saying. I think the only time this is like actually applicable is probably Gulag. Is like
And,
if you
Gulag,
have
helicopter,
in the
PSH.
that's
Gulag, you do get a few pistols as your secondary, so you'll probably
Yeah.
be able to fire those instead of. But
Yeah.
there's still pistols.
Okay. It says we're restoring some of the early game and intensity that keeps you on your toes, immediately leaving the infill plane and enables more of a response during freefall. So that's exciting. This one is a huge. This is like we used to have this, right, Hunter? Like with the 360 rotation.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. And then whenever we got stuck in that animation, I think it was probably Warzone 2, where you like now you like have to look at your teammate while you're reviving them. I think that's like the animation they put in Warzone 2. That's completely gone now, so you can rotate 360 degrees while reviving your teammate. Instead of being fixed on their squad mate's down position, giving the perfect opportunity to call if your squad mate is being pushed by an enemy as they revive you. Okay, wait, so this is only for the person on the ground.
Yeah, we used to have this because I have a random memory of I was reviving my friend and he was looking up at somebody on top of a building. And he's like, "All right, you're good." He's not looking at you, so it's for down people.
Got it. Okay.
It
we used
reads
to have
as
it,
the
though,
person
where-
reviving.
Right. That's kind of like where I was confused. So it's only the person that's knocked that can turn, not the person that's actually reviving.
No, it says that the person reviving, it says instead of being locked on their squad mate's down position.
Okay, true.
Giving
And then at the end, though, it says, giving the perfect opportunity to call if your squad mate is being pushed by an enemy as they revive you. So maybe it's both?
It's talking about down people.
It's both. Yeah, maybe it
could be
means
both.
down people, but the wording is bad.
This is really bad wording.
The first half, the first half applies to the person because clearly, instead of being fixed on the squad mate's downed position, so
You could
I don't
in
know.
Warzone 1, you were able to do both. You were able to be down and look around. You were able to revive and look around. It was both.
Okay.
Wait, so you guys are talking about whether the down player versus the guy that's actually getting rezzed, or the guy that's rezzing?
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's misworded in the thing.
It
needed
could
to
be both.
clarified.
Could just be both.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Cool. All right, what did y'all say about the? Sorry, I was trying to fix the lag. What did y'all think about the free fall shooting? Was like
It's just pistols only.
Yeah, most people.
Which is not a big deal because you're not flying around the map all the time.
I think most people are pretty happy about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a
Again, it
bad change.
adds.
I like it.
It says it adds the early game intensity, which is true. It adds its own element to the battle royale that makes it Warzone.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, and circle pacing. All right, here I do want to discuss this because things do change a little bit. So it says the gas circle pacing is faithful to the original timings of the gas closing as well as the circle size and movement. This means that battle royale matches will run longer to create a more well-defined initial looting phase. So let's scroll down, and this is something that I really did want to kind of figure out with you guys and see what y'all's thoughts are. So, okay. Circle 1. Somebody told me, and I don't know if they're fucking high or some shit, but tell me what you guys think. They said that Circle 1 will last 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, you just add the 3-4 and 4:30. That's 8 minutes 10
shit.
seconds. So right now I think it's 7 minutes.
Oh shit! Wait,
Right now I
it's 7?
think yeah, I think it's 3 minutes or so to start closing, and then it's 4 minutes to close.
Oh, wait. So okay, from what I recall, at the start of Urzikstan, it was way faster, right? Like way faster.
Well, at the start of Urzikstan, yeah, I think it was because Al Mazrah was the one that was like that shit was slow.
I think it was Al Mazrah. Which one was it? Where I was like, bro, like, it's like we had some type of thing where they were asking for feedback. I don't know if it was a creator call, and I was like, dude, you can't even land on the outskirts of the map because by the time you land, you can't even loot. The circle's already on you. Like,
Oh
and
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Do you guys remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
I think that was Urzikstan, early
Was it?
Urzikstan, because Al
Oh, okay,
Mazrah
okay.
had slow zones. That was almost never an issue. It even had the split zone where it felt like nothing happened in the middle of the match.
That shit was so ass. Oh my God, dude. I hope, a side note, I hope that in 2 to 3 years from now, we can say, hey, I can't believe we went through that 3-year stage of Warzone being that shit. Like, I hope that's fucking, anyways, regardless. But yeah, so they pretty much made the circle timings a lot slower. But okay, what did they do to the gas? Because they said the gas is more deadly now. What did they do?
No, what happens is they'll pull further. So
I like that.
What'll end up happening with it is, let's say the zone right here, for zone 3, it says the zone's going to move in 75 seconds. Well, what happens is if it moves only 100 meters, well, it's going to travel 100 meters in 75 seconds. But if the zone pulled 500 meters,
right,
because you're way outside of it, that's going to be 500 meters in 75 seconds, which significantly faster. Whereas right now, I think when the zone pulls, it pulls like in, and it doesn't like hard shift to a side of the zone.
Okay,
within the circles, because it's not going to pull until you get to zone 8.
Right now, when it comes to the circles, right? What circle does it just start to close? I personally love the way Fortnite does theirs, and I don't know if again, my memory is shit. I don't recall what it was back in OG, but 10th circle moving zone, right? Are we going to continue to get crazy pool zones like from what I remember? Because bro, right now the circle, I hate the circle. End games are so anticlimactic. You get to a certain circle and then it just
they're
goes.
talking about this zone thing. So for example, back in Verdansk, what would happen is the opening zone, you would already know that like the center of the circle that's previewed is prison.
Right.
So that if you landed at Dam, if you didn't have a helicopter, your ass was going to need to run because 3.5 minutes across the whole map, you're going to get hit by the gas.
Yep.
So that's more what it's in relation to in terms of how aggressive those zone pools can be versus now, usually the edge of the circle is kind of towards the edge of the map. It doesn't fully reach off the map. Because of that, you have way less instances where you have to travel across the whole map because if the circle's more positioned towards the center of the map than towards off the map, then you literally cannot travel further than the distance is available. Yeah.
So
the gap is deadly, basically. It'll be an actual part of the game versus just, oh, it's touching me, let me like run out of it really fast. It'll actually be like a threat in the game.
Yeah, because you might not be able to outrun it when the distance is that far because of the meters and time that the zone.
And no redeploys. Right, like right now, I can't even think of one time where the gas has been a threat in big map, and I played a lot. I can't remember the gas ever being a big threat at all.
Because
it's kind of
some of those fundamental things where it'll catch you off guard, where you're like, "Oh, I'll just outrun it," and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm dead." That's what. Where's the nearest vehicle? Come pick me up. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, right now, right? I'm more talking about. I actually don't know. Gabe said it was 7th zone. Right now. What was it back in OG? Did it just end up closing or did it just keep pulling? Because right now, I feel like the circle ends way too soon. Like the circle is too big and then it just starts closing. I personally don't like that. I like the Fortnite vibe where it's like, if the circle is this big, right? Instead of it just closing, I like where it pulls farther and then it gets smaller and it just keeps doing that.
Well, that's what it's doing.
Right now it doesn't. Right now the circle, it ends and it's big as fuck, and then it just starts closing in. It doesn't pull
but it still
anymore
pulls.
after a certain point.
Yeah, it still pulls.
Not right now. It doesn't pull. Not right now. Right now, literally just after a certain point, it says, circle ending, all buy stations closed, and then it just does this. It does it towards the middle.
But it still pulls back to places that are in gas. Like it'll put a circle it'll be in gas, and it'll start going that way.
Not the very last one?
Hey, this is the circle.
The last circle.
What you're talking about,
the game's got to end
after
at some point.
The zone's moved 3 times. Yes. That's how it's always been. Even in Fortnite, that's how it'll work.
The game's got to end at one point. It can't be like a 50-minute game because it's just pulling all the time.
No, I'm talking about the last zone. Gabe is telling me
you're talking about zone 10. Zone 10.
I'm talking about whatever the last zone is. Like, I feel like I've watched hella fucking end games, like, with competitive. when it gets to a certain zone, right? The final circle, it just starts shrinking. It shrinks to 0.
But it's not that large.
Yeah, that's
The
how
map's
Fortnite does it too.
The map's always.
Dude, I'm saying like it collapses in. I want
It
it to
almost
just
never
pull.
even gets to that point, anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Like-
it like never gets to that point.
By the time
Obviously,
it's moved 3 times,
No,
like
I do think it should close, but I think it prematurely closes right now. Like, dude, maybe I'm just watching
you
too
think
much
that 'cause
competitive.
competitive, yes.
Yeah, maybe I'm watching
Competitive's
too
not
much
the
competitive,
same.
but bro,
Competitive's nowhere near the same at all.
you're gonna be done by zone 8 if you're playing pubs.
I get that.
You'll never
I'm
even
not
reach
tripping.
that part.
I will literally play a fucking end game right now after this fucking podcast. I'll show you guys what I mean. I just wish it would get like whatever it is now. Let it pull half. Maybe give one more end zone. Like just Fortnite. I feel like it's not like that. Fortnite. It's like it pulls, but the circle's tiny as fuck where you only fit one person.
Fortnite always ends when the circle's gigantic, though. In normal play, you're thinking about competitive.
Yeah, competitive. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
in normal play, it's not. It's normal.
I'm just okay, maybe this is the competitive side of me speaking, right? I like whenever there's only like it pulls because I just hate the way end games are. Again, competitively right now, it turns into like not a Gila, but it's kind of anticlimactic. You know, I like it to where that shit pulls and people are just fucking going crazy. I don't know. That's just the Fortnite in me, I guess, and the competitive. But forget it. Regardless, I wish they would do that. Apparently, if that's not the way it was in OG, they're just gonna keep it the same. All right, let's go down. What do we got? Map assets. What's this?
Just original models
Yeah.
of. Well, it is important
Yeah.
for contracts because grabbing a laptop off the shelf's not fun.
They go over this in a little bit, right? Or am I faded?
I don't think they do.
Okay. I feel like I read way too many blogs that I don't know what's what anymore. But yeah, the I think they say later at the bottom you no longer have to crouch, lay down, look under a fucking cabinet to get a contract. They're literally
it'll be
floating.
like the original where they're
Thank
floating.
God, man.
W.
Yeah, perfect.
So, all right, scroll down. So we got ascenders. We went over this. I think they do like a summary and then they go over it, bro. You know? Okay. So we have ascenders and Verdansk. They are coming back. External ones have been disabled on launch, but they're scheduled to return mid-season. And then the internal ones are there, chat. Yeah. All right, go to the next one. Let's see. Adjustments, Gulag loadouts. Okay, this is the one we went over a little bit.
Right.
They're going to describe it a little bit more in detail. So loadouts change according to where you're at and when you die, right? So circle 1, it's pistols. You get a difference between 3 ones. You get the Strider, the 9mm, or the GS45. Any one of those in circle 1. Circle 2, it changes to the C9, the ASVAL, and the PP19, 919, whatever the fuck, right? And so, but you get no attachments on that gun. Circle 2. Circle 3, same guns, but they give you an extendo mag, right? Then circle 4, same thing. I think circle 4 through 4 and onwards. You get C9, same exact guns, but with now quick draw grip, ASVAL gets recoil springs, and the PP19 gets a compensator, right? So they just add an extra attachment. What do y'all think about this? Like, do you guys like having guns in the Gulag like this, or do you guys
Yeah, it was like that in the original.
pistols?
But the problem, it was like that in the original. But the problem right now is that they give you like meta assault rifles, and it's not fun when circle 1, circle 2, you don't have it together that much, and someone comes back from the Gulag, lands above you with a fucking meta gun, and shoots you instantly. That's not
True.
fun, right? They come back from the
True.
Gulag with a better weapon right now.
We used to have some trolley stuff. We had the crossbow. We had the revolver.
Yeah, bro.
Revolver,
There was
HDR,
loading fist only.
Shotguns,
Fist
yeah.
only. I don't know if you ever had one of those.
Yeah, there's an MP5, Origin 12. I like it this way. I don't like that people can come back with long range weapons because it's not fair. The Gulag's
I
a
think
second
this is
chance, not come back
good
with the
decision.
fucking best gun in the
These are
game.
good
That's just so
decisions for
stupid.
sure.
We're going to get into it a little bit later, but they said that, I don't know if it's just whenever you get bought back, but they had mentioned something that whenever you're going to spawn in a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Is
Every
that,
zone, yeah.
is that across the board, even from Gulag, or?
It sounded like it was from Gulag.
Yep. Every zone
Okay.
will get shorter and shorter.
And naturally, they said your angle of like looking
Look
will be
down.
30 degrees lower, so that you don't have to adjust your aim when you spawn in. You already look down.
Okay. All right.
Which is cool because you usually got to pull your parachute and then look down and then like figure out what's going on. So it's nice to see that they changed that.
I'm cool with the primary weapons and stuff. Like I said, me personally, I don't think smokes belong in Gulag, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, remember, they got to make sure that like everybody, like casuals can win too, and smokes just increase the RNG, which I guess is what they want, right? So, all right, let's go down.
Well, it's good they got rid of shock charges because, oh my god, man, shock charges in the Gulag, terrible.
Oh, in the Gulag, yeah, in the Gulag. Okay,
yeah, those are terrible.
Why the fuck do we got? We'll get into it. Why the fuck do we got shock sticks in loadouts? Oh, I'm checked. I
don't know.
Regardless, all right, we'll get into that. Infill and backup pistols. So players will now infill and spawn with a 9mm PM, replacing the GS45. Late game redeploy. Okay, they talk about it here. Late game redeployments will now spawn players closer to the ground, reducing the need to hover while positioning during final circles. This system has not been turned on since Black Ops 6 launched. So it's only an endgame then. Only an endgame.
That's good though. Because it was kind of overpowered. It was kind of overpowered because you could just hover and ping people a bunch of times, or you could wait for everybody else to fight it out, or you could wait for the circle to move and you could get high ground because you're up there so long. I'm glad they changed that. And it's kind of good
force you to come down immediately because you'll get shot.
Yeah, and the thing with the 9mm pistol, I feel like the GS45 is a little bit of a powerful landing pistol. I feel like that pistol was a little too good. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I'm kind of glad they changed that. No, the GS45, like when you land in, like when you jump out of the plane and land in, I feel like the GS45 is a little too strong.
Yeah. Bro, the OG, what was it? The Core 45? Or was it Warzone 2, the Core 45? There was a pistol that was insane. That thing was insane. It was almost better to shoot your pistol. Actually, it was better to shoot your pistol than pick up a gun every time.
Yeah.
That's actually fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Like I like this. I think they're probably going to go into it right now where if you, no matter what, when you're shooting out of the air, you have to use a pistol. You cannot use a submachine gun, AR, whatever the fuck, right? And if you don't have a secondary, it'll default to one of the pistols. I don't know which one. I would assume it's the 9mm, but it'll default to that one.
I wonder if they're gonna allow like Renettis, like burst or automatics, like pistols.
Oh, that fucking water pistol and shit.
Or like the AMP, like the OG AMP or whatever it was in Cold War, like the AMP 61 or whatever it was, the pistol. I don't know.
The Fallout one?
But we'll see.
The Grekova. Okay, so now go down. We got unsuppressed red dot distance. This is just in Rebirth, I believe. This distance at which unsuppressed weapons display a red dot has been reduced in Resurgence to better align to the map size. Reduced to 112.5 meters on Rebirth Island, down from 250. So yeah, I mean, big change for Resurgence, right? I guess less red dots on the minimap. We can scroll down, Papa. Now loot and economy. I'm curious, have they said exactly how much it's going to be affected? Loot and economy. I don't know if have they given us any exact details on this yet?
You know it's affected because there's not going to have the cash registers. They're not going to have the duffel bags, no weapon lockers anymore. So yeah, it's affected for sure.
So it's probably a little bit harder to get money. We know floating loot is back, right? And they made a lot of changes on this shit. They made a lot of changes on this. So loot found on the ground will once again float in the air for better visibility and interactability. I believe they're going to go over it a little bit later, where like the calling cards and the way that it looks is different, and the angle at which you have to look to pick up your loot is a lot better now, so you don't like shuffle through your guns, which we'll get into it in a bit. Adjustments. The return to Verdansk comes with some refinements to Battle Royale's loot philosophy that brings us back to its roots. Life is valuable, adaptability is key, great loot must be earned, and contracts are central to earning cash. So I believe they didn't actually say it, but here they're implying that there's going to be less money to go around, less, like contracts are going to matter a lot when it comes to the economy.
But they want you to do contracts, because the multiplier as well.
Yeah, which was a thing back in the LG's days. There was a lot less.
Way more common because
they didn't cap it though. But that's the gameplay loop was to do contracts. And I talked this a little bit about in my video, where if you were like a win grinder, you'd probably do some recons, maybe you do supply runs so you can get satchel, whatever. You know the future zones. But then if you were a sweat trying to kill chase, you would just do bounty UAV, and you'd get the multiplier up, and you'd be able to play aggressive until it's about to be end game. All right, we changed to playing end game. And a lot of that had to do with doing that contract loop. And then if your team got wiped, you go to Gulag, at least one person wins. Maybe you do supply run, maybe you do other contracts, and you'd be able to get 4,000 easy.
Yeah,
So-
and on top of
Yeah.
that, people would also fight for scavengers in the beginning. Like you would see multiple teams landing on one scavenger and fight for that. So that's not really a
Yep.
thing right now. People don't really care about scavengers.
So I know in the original Warzone, if you were dead, you didn't get the contract money, but I know they changed that with Black Ops 6 and stuff. Do you know? Have they mentioned anything like that? Whereas if your teammates are dead, do they also get the contract money?
I don't
think you do.
I don't think they mentioned anything about that.
Okay,
Yeah, I
'cause
don't
right now,
think
if
you
you're
do,
dead,
though.
if you're dead right now, you do get the contract money.
Yeah. It didn't used
Yeah,
to.
I don't think
though,
they mentioned
before.
that.
Okay.
Okay. So now, boys, they talk about the ground loot refresh, right? So common to epic weapons now sport a selection of random attachments that align with the weapon's natural strengths. Legendary weapons come with a variety of fixed builds tailored to specific roles that are randomly selected match over match. This change aims to maintain the excitement of random loot while preserving the reliability of weapon performance. So they explain a little bit
That's a
more. I
big
actually want to
deal.
go over that. Yeah, this is a big one. So let me go over this and then we can recap. Looting in recent years has become a little too static. A blue tier weapon often providing the most valuable attachments and devaluing an epic or legendary find. This change aims to bring some different outcomes in the more commonly found weapons and make legendary weapons highly sought after. So what I got from this is that like gray guns are gonna have like no attachments, or they're not gonna have anything like too crazy, right? Green is gonna have better, like they're gonna actually feel like, yo, like right now you pick up a green gun, it doesn't really matter. Like a green has no difference between a blue right now. Like it doesn't feel like it's, you know?
Well, I think a lot of people can agree with this. You would rather take a white Model L with a drum mag over a legendary orange Krig with a scope on it, because
Right,
the Krig with
exactly.
the scope is freaking awful, and the
Well-
Model L that's white is far better. So
I think
the
the
loot
other
colors
thing
don't
that
make sense.
contributed to the like the ground loot being less important was that you could just go to the buy station and buy your gun for 2,500 or whatever.
Yeah,
So with that being removed, floor loot becomes a little bit more important, because right now you kind of just land, get a gun, get enough money, get your loadout, and so now you have both your guns, and then you're good, you know? So
Yeah.
floor loot will definitely matter, and they'll have to update it regularly.
yeah.
I
Because
hope-
right now the problem is the loot colors don't define the gun at all,
Yeah.
other than like when it has 8 attachments. That's the only tier that really makes a big difference.
Do you think that like, for example, let's say the kilos meta, do you think that a gold, like they'll give you a gold kilo, or are we going to continue like that? For example, like let's just say the fucking Krig is still ass, right? Are we going to get a gold Krig? Like,
Yeah.
everybody's
Well,
like, oh, it's not.
Based
it's
on
not
what they're
an actual
saying,
gold.
they might change it. They said the attachment is going to line up more with it, because a gold Krig would make more sense if it didn't have a sniper scope. It would make more sense if it was like a
Yeah.
red dot with like a good stock or something, you know? So look, it seems like they're changing that, which is good.
It
Because
probably
ground loot's
depends
so
on
random.
how. It probably depends on how good they make these attachments. Because if like the monolithic suppressor is just busted, then any gun you basically put it on would make it like somewhat viable. So I guess it kind of just depends on how strong these attachments are.
I don't think
Yeah.
ground loot guns had suppressors, did they? Ever?
Actually, I don't know.
I don't recall.
I don't think so.
Ground loot subs?
In general, I don't think any ground loot weapons had suppressors.
Maybe like the Pulmiot and Modern Warfare 3, but
The
I don't know
PP,
about OG.
PP. The PP,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
talking
there you
about
go.
OG.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
PP9.
Oh, well, yeah. OG, there was none. I don't think.
I am unsure.
Moral of the story here is I hope they match the lethality, right, of the
big
colors. Yeah, big words over here. The lethality of the colors, I hope they match it. So if you get a gold, it's like, yo, you know that gold gun is gonna be a meta gun, right? If you get a blue, hey, it might, like, it's a good gun, it's viable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I hope that they can do stuff like that. Or if, let's say, for example, the kilos meta, if it's a gray kilo, then it should have no attachments, no nothing. It's still a good gun, but it's gray, right? The gold
Yeah.
is obviously gonna be better than that one, right? You get what I'm saying? So right now there is no, like in Fortnite, you can tell like, hey, I want a gold fucking this. Well, I want that, right?
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
it's a little
yeah.
bit different too with Fortnite, because the actual rarity, they do different damage and have better
Right.
stats. Like, just there's no attachments like that.
So I hope at the very least they can figure that out, because if they're making it harder to get loadouts, well then ground loot needs to be somewhat viable. right? So
Well, yeah,
see, we'll see.
people that don't know everything about the game, they're gonna see a white Model L and then a purple PKM with a sniper scope. We're gonna choose the purple PKM, even though the white Model L is better. So I think that'll help a lot of people that aren't like geeked out over this as we are. It'll help people that are just playing the game normally.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right, so let's go down to high-value loot zones. This season's high-value loot zones remain consistent every match, allowing players to reliably identify hospital, military base, and superstore as POIs with enhanced ground loot and an increased number of supply boxes. Further enhancements to these features will be added in future updates. So, bro, this is fucking fire. This is fucking fire. Like, I'm so happy that they didn't fuck this up and give, like, some random ass POI, the high value loot zone, like hospital, super, and military. Well, maybe military.
I agree, but I also disagree with you at the same time.
Okay, tell me.
The reality is that they did it at hospital, military not so much, but hospital and super. What do you think is going to happen when they rotate some of these high value zones next season?
That was what I was going to ask you. So that's what I was going to ask you.
There's no way this is a good thing later on.
Are they doing that though, JGOD? Because I'm pretty sure in the patch notes they said they're going to add more, not subtract. I'm pretty confident that they're not.
So hopefully, because if they do that, people will be like, oh, loot sucks, it's fucking garbage, no reason to land there, blah blah. Like you already know that's, especially when you choose those POIs.
I get what you're saying. I don't know. I disagree.
From what I remember,
do you disagree that if they removed Superstore from a high value loot location next season, that people wouldn't be upset?
I mean, it could add to the gameplay though, like changing it up a little bit. I think people
land hospital or superstore because that's where they want to land. If it's a high value loot zone, great. If not, they're either going to keep landing there, and the people that really like the high value loot zones, they're just going to go to the new POI. If it goes to like Boneyard or something, that's kind of how I see it. Like I like landing hospital, so I'm just going to go hospital. Like,
but it really just depends. So for example, if you land a hospital and you come out of there with 20 G's, and the next season it's only 7, you don't think you're going to be upset?
Well, it's just going to play a little bit different. I get what you're saying, but it's not going to be the end all be all. Like, I like going hospital because it's good POI, not necessarily for like the money, if that makes sense. Like,
well, and it'll change the gameplay up a bit because like places you're not used to a bunch of people dropping. Like, what's a random POI?
So
name a random POI right now.
Elaborate a little bit on my stance. So for example, they shouldn't have included these as the high value ones. They should have just had reasonable loot at those areas and then made other areas high value. So that when the high value locations change, super would be unaffected, hospital will be unaffected, because inherently I think it'll be negative when it gets changed.
They still might be good loot zones. Like, yeah, like hospital could still have like a bunch of money regardless of how it is.
I
remember reading it somewhere that I don't think they're going to swap these out, fellas. I think they're just going to add to them. Now, maybe they said, hey, look, hospital, military base, superstore, from a analytical standpoint, had the most people dropping on here, like in Verdansk. We're going to keep these 3 as a high value loot zone, and then we're going to add more, but then these 3 will always be static. I don't fucking know how they're going to do it, right? But I'm pretty sure from what I recall.
Hopefully that's how they do it, because if it's not like that, then people will complain for sure.
The only issue they run into is if they keep adding, then we get back to the kind of like where we're at now with the complaint of like, oh, there's too much money on the map. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, it's just too easy to regain. Any POI you go to, there's too much money. So it's like, I don't know. I'm curious to see again how they kind of build off of that. But I do think that this is probably the approach they're going to take is they're just going to move the HVLs to like different places.
Okay. Well, what I'm trying to say is it might change the vibe of the game if different POIs are like the meta. It might change the flow of the game and just make it feel a little bit different. Because let's say, what's the POI? Like bottom left Promito, right? Whatever it's called. What if no one really lands there, but then they put a high value loot zone there, and then a bunch of people land there, and it changes the gameplay of like something.
Well, I think that's true for the casual jumping on. Yeah, they will do that. But from original Verdansk, people still landed the same spot until Nakatomi Tower got added. Beyond that, everyone landed Superstore as their main a lot, or hangars by airport, and that would be their spawn. But they would complain when it felt like there was less loot, and when it was bugged and they had super loot, they thought it was awesome. So I don't know.
Yeah, the super loot was fucking insane. One of my favorite fucking times playing Warzone is bugged Superstore. And again, I don't think they ever came out and said whether it was bugged or not, but that shit was lit.
I don't know how you accidentally just put 80K on the ground. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, that seemed
was
very
fucking,
intentional.
dude.
Well,
That
your
was
example
insane.
also like leads into kind of what I'm saying. Imagine it was like that normally off rip, and then they remove that, and you'd be like, yeah, that shit's ass now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good that we have different opinions on this, but only time will tell how they actually implement it into the fucking game, right?
Yeah, it does matter.
But okay, next one, supply boxes. So the basic ones, these boxes provide consistent cash rewards and average to high quality weapons, occasionally offering premium equipment such as legendary weapons, kill streaks, and gas masks. So I'm gonna read all these boys, and I want to ask you guys a question here. Legendary supply boxes have received significant upgrades for a more rewarding experience. These boxes guarantee top tier weapons and some of the best loot available with increased chances of obtaining substantial cash. Okay. Now this next one, I'm a little bit confused here, and maybe I'm looking too far into a conspiracy theory, right? But it says these boxes replenish every 90 seconds, serving as an ideal means for players to regain strength in the mid to late stages of a match, particularly after returning from the Gulag or redeployment. They supply players with a viable weapon and armor plate and some cash to quickly return to combat readiness. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, right? It says here, the very last sentence, none of the other ones mention this, right? It says they supply players with a viable weapon, an armor plate, and some cash to quickly return to combat readiness. Does that then mean that the basic boxes don't provide a weapon, armor plate, and cash no matter what? Is there a world where we see the basic ones not give us any cash or any plates?
Well, it says
right now,
says provides consistent cash rewards and average to high quality weapon, and then occasionally
plates?
offering some legendary weapons, kill streaks, and gas mask.
so maybe
So
plates.
basic is still pretty good. Maybe plate. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about plates.
Right. So
But you might get a plate box.
I saw their thing where they
Potential.
said that they think plates are just overdone right now. And I know Hunter touched on it too in the last pod as well. Just plates, there's just too many plates on the map right now or something. So I think they're trying to see how they could balance it a little.
okay, that's actually a good. That's I don't know if you guys thought of that as well. Like it says consistent cash rewards, so you know that you're gonna get money, but maybe they don't give you plates. That's what I got from that, and maybe I'm looking too far into it. But yeah, again, I will die on this hill. Y'all said L last week. I'm gonna die on it. I still think 5 plates and 8 plates is too little, and I think especially when they added this,
I agree too.
One plate drop in on launch. I think it's a bad decision. I think there will be no plates on the map.
Because there was a drop. Was it Caldera where everyone was like, "There's no fucking plates on the map"? No, it was Warzone 2. It was Warzone 2. We're like, "There's no fucking
None.
plates on the map." There was literally none, and everyone's like, "Where are the plates? We can't find plates." So no,
So
we might actually be in a
in that
situation like
time,
that
it
again.
benefited you to not chow early, because if you
Right.
got into a gunfight, that you would end up at a disadvantage because you didn't have any plates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I agree, Hector. I think yeah, you might be right.
I just
Well,
hope
there was
that-
also no
Oh,
money in
Mark.
Warzone 2, and there wasn't guaranteed armor boxes at buy stations. So
Yeah, I'm sure it'll feel probably good. The TTK thing will be a little bit, I think, a bigger issue. But it could be good. Hopefully they hit the nail on the head with the right filling TTK, because some
Yes,
of those TTKs sounding a little fast.
We will go over that. I want Jago to cover that shit. I'm kind of like, we'll discuss. We'll discuss. I'm actually excited to talk about that. So now we got duffel bags, medical cabinets, and weapon lockers. These sources of loot have been removed to better service the classic feeling of Verdansk. I'm not disappointed in that, right? We're going back to OG Verdansk. It should kind of feel like it, but I will say, unless they up the money in regular loot boxes, and again, I'm not saying significantly, or I'm not even saying that I want that. I'm just saying that more than likely there'll be less money to go around.
they didn't mention cash registers though, which is interesting.
I was gonna
But-
say that.
They're saying that better service the classic feeling. Maybe they might keep cash registers in. I don't know. They didn't mention that, but seems
They've never,
odd.
they haven't mentioned cash registers in any other thing, which I have a feeling means that they're not in the game, but I'm unsure.
Okay. All right. So we'll see. I'm very concerned, or not concerned, but I want to see how the economy feels, because right now we're going from one extreme, right? Just so everybody's aware, we're going from a really fast-paced fucking game that it doesn't feel like BR at all. It's resurgence. It's a glorified resurgence. We get money, as much money as we want. It's super easy to fucking do, right?
Bloated, really bloated money.
To now, it seems like we're going to a lot more scrappier, right? is that drastic change?
Well, I
gonna
wouldn't
turn
know
off a
about
lot of
Scrappy.
players?
I don't know about that. I don't know about.
Well, to be
Scrappy.
fair, those
You
players
have
aren't even playing the
PTSD
game right
from
now.
Warzone
So
too.
True.
you know what I mean? To be fair, they're not even playing the game. They're coming back. They haven't played in 2.5 years, dog. Like they saw COD next, and they said, "Nah, I'm good. It's chalked."
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see how the economy actually plays out. I don't know. I hope it doesn't feel too scrappy. That's my only concern. And I will say, I'm going to say it again. I got L's in the chat last week. Plates are going to be too little. I think there's going to be no plates on the map. And I think 5.
You played
plates
Warzone 1 just
and 8
fine.
hits.
You love Warzone 1. You're gonna be fine.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw it out there. I think it's an L. I think it's a big L. My opinion. Second chance mechanics. Fucking W. Get them the fuck out. We got the following items have been removed from the loot: Gulag tokens, reinforcement flares, and redeployed tokens. Thank God they're getting rid of this shit. We are tired of this resurgence bullshit.
They didn't mention it because I think it's a second chance mechanic. The portable buy stations as well, because that's definitely a different than just a normal buy station. Because if you're carrying it in your pocket and your squad dies in the end game, you just throw it and everyone's back. So I feel like that should have been in there
Bro,
too.
goated. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I can't wait to actually play. Yeah. Oh,
we've
dude,
talked
it's
about
so
this
bad.
for so long. We have been talking about this for so long, bro. It's
gonna
insane.
be actually dope. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah,
as
you're
fuck,
not killing the
Well-
same guy 5 times. You know.
Well,
Yep.
you know what is kind of funny is certain things like this. It's kind of like one of those things you really don't know how to impact players. I think good players benefit from these mechanics far more often, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about this when we get to the TTK and maybe even disagree on it. But it's kind of like they implemented more chances for people to come back, but it didn't really benefit casuals enough, right? Because the reality is good players are going to utilize these at a much higher rate. So it actually probably made the game even harder for casuals, even though in theory they could come back, but also Hector could come back, Ebatez, Hunter, you guys could come back in and you guys will smoke the lobby because now you got another chance. The guy that shot you in the back and then he got you out the lobby and you got a bad gulag or something, you're gone. But now it's like, oh, just give me back. I got another token. I got another token. I got another token. So now you come back and that casual isn't going to beat you. Maybe they beat you 1 out of 5 times. That was the one. But like now they're fucked because you're coming back again. And then again.
Yeah,
and again.
because right now, and especially solos, when I die, I'm like, it's all right. I got Gulag. I got $20,000. I'm going to win this and just buy another Gulag token. Then I die again. I'm like, I don't really feel anything from that. I'll be all right. And I'm glad that's not going to be a thing. I like Battle Royale, not resurgence.
So I think some of these things do like work on paper, but I think it's really hard until it gets into the play space on how it'll negatively impact players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm excited for this to change.
Yeah, I think this makes it worse for the sweats or whatever, but even then, it's gonna make your life value so much. Like it's gonna be a lot harder to get wins, and you know it's gonna make
the higher
it that
player
much
count's
better.
already doing that part too.
Yep.
Yeah. So
players.
Well, and the
50
thing is too is people aren't going to play like crash outs if it's more valuable because dude, like the difference between a resurgence player and a battle royale player is so
100%
different.
different.
Resurgence players do not care about their life, and they'll thirst you instantly even if it means dying.
At least until
running away. They don't
respawns
care.
close.
Yeah, once respawns close and everyone's hiding in buildings, everyone's like actually trying to lock in and play the game how it is without lives. So I think it's a good change. And then the only available methods were death and Gulag victories. I wonder if they're going to keep second chance in or not. Do you guys think they'll remove second chance out of the Gulag?
Yeah, I don't think there's any in there.
No, they removed it, right?
I think they said no events are in the Gulag.
No events in the Gulag? Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. I could be faded, but self-revive
That would
kits.
make
So
sense.
this is a little bit of a change too, fellas. Self-revives are in legendary supply boxes, scavenger contracts, buy station 4,000. And then this was back. What game was it that we had fire sale? Was it always just OG fire sale for free?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I remember that. Yo, fire sale, boys, get a self-revive, get a self-revive. And just unlimited. You could just get.
Yeah, right now it's
fucking self-revives.
2,000. Right now it's 2,000 for one. And
So
I think
I like
the
that.
self-revive change is huge because right now, dude, there's like a self-revive in every box almost in Big Map. It's so bad right now. Like you could grab a self-res and then loot 3 different other things in the building. You have 3 more self-reses just sitting there. So I think that's a huge change because right now I think a big problem is everybody in the world has self-res in big map right now.
Yeah,
It's a
I
huge
like
problem.
it. I like this change or whatever. If they can make them a little bit more scarce, whatever the fuck you ever say it. I think it's gonna be good for the experience, right?
Yeah, scarce.
Scarce, whatever the fuck. All right, death tax. This is also going to be a good change. At least I think in theory, it's going to be a good change for when it comes to the economy, especially in the mid to late game, right? So, long story short, whenever you die, 50% of your money will instantly drop, and you will keep 50% of your money when you come back from the Gulag, which means that no economy is lost when a player dies. Technically, it's still in the pool of the game, the match, right? Right now, whenever you die in the current game, 50% of your cash drops automatically, but then 30% of the economy is gone forever. It disappears into La La Land, and you keep only 20% of the money that you had before dying, right? So this will help with a little bit of the recovery again from mid to late game. I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts on this, boys.
I think it makes sense for this situation because right now I didn't even know how much you lose right now when you die.
30%.
Well, technically,
Is that a
you
lot?
lose 80%. Like,
Yeah.
Technically,
Technically, you lose 80% if your team doesn't
your
clean
money.
up those kills and get the money. And if
Do you
somebody
guys
picked
think
it
that's
up
a lot
before you do a
compared-
trade,
So is that? Sorry, I have a question. Is that way more than what it's going to be here? Like,
Yeah.
are you losing way more now than after
No.
the update comes
yes,
out?
you're losing
Yes.
way more right now, current game, than what we're going to do back then. But remember, looting is going to be
That makes sense.
There's going to be a lot
that
less
makes
money.
sense. Okay. I didn't
Well, I
even
think-
notice right now because there's so much money that I genuinely didn't even notice
Right.
you lose a lot right now. It's never
well, I
affected
think
me.
it's kind of like a change that kind of doesn't really matter because it really depends on how all the other elements of the economy work. I think this is just something that's more simplifies the game. That you know that when you die, you lose half your money versus you die, you leave half, you keep 20, you lose 30. It just simplifies the game. Because it doesn't really matter until we know what the economy is. If you're still rolling at 100K, it doesn't really matter. But at least now you know, okay, I lost half my money when I died.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that it's simple though. I like that you like, oh, if I die, fuck. Or at least I come back with half. Like, yo, I just died, fellas. I have 5K. Yo, let's say Diaz, on my body there's 5K. Go pick it up. Like, it's simple, simple.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's go down. Loot angle, we went over this a little bit. Oh, actually, no, we did it. We talked about this. This is fucking cool. And again, I say this now. In theory, it's cool. Let's see if it actually fucking works, right? So the loot angle interactions now require more precise aiming to reduce accidental item pickups, resolving most unintended looting situations, such as inadvertently picking up items during reload. So this
Oh my
is
god.
fucking fire. Again, in theory,
Fire.
if it works the way they say it's working, right? You know what I'm saying? You no longer will be reloading and picking up random shit like, bro, fuck, like, or even maybe things like zip lines, right? Like
Trying to hit
taking
a
the fucking-
redeploy drone, you're freaking swapping
Oh,
guns. You don't even
dude, you
know,
know those
that
are
they're
gone,
literally
bro.
not on the
Nah.
screen. They're not. I know. Just in general though, like you'll be doing things that you don't want to do.
Bro.
A gun could be on the floor. It's not even in your view, and you're accidentally picking it up. I absolutely hate that. And I
Yeah.
hate that if your gun's full right now, but like you think you have to reload and you hold X to reload it, it doesn't just like decline a reload. It picks up some random ass gun on the ground. So I'm
Bro,
glad
the
that's
UAV
out of the way.
towers, if you're near a UAV tower and then you just like turn to a computer and you just start typing, I'm like, oh, I'm checked out. Instantly checked out.
Yeah, all that's super annoying. I'm glad they're changing
Yeah.
that
So
to what it was.
Right. So that I think is fire. Then rarity outlines now gradually fade into view only when players are within a logical proximity rather than remaining visible at all distances. So is this talking about rarity of
This is
loot?
good.
Right?
Yeah, so let's say there's a blue gun and you're really far away from it. It's not gonna have that blue outline still, which is good for like visibility in general. So if there's a bunch of people, or if there's one dude standing there and there's a bunch of ground loot, it's not gonna highlight the ground loot and give him any sort of camouflage. It's just a visual,
Right.
thing, not anything crazy.
So
but
it'll look like
yeah, like that
this.
green outline will be non-existent from a distance, which is fine.
When
That's
you're
not
close,
bad.
yeah, but it says what a reasonable distance is instead of the actual meters. So it could be 12
Yeah, let's see
meters,
how
it
far
could
that
be
is.
50 meters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. Lou. There you go. Okay. So loot card positioning, right? This one, I need y'all to help me, figure this out. So it says loot cards are now centered over items to improve readability, particularly when combined with floating loot. Loot cards remain at a fixed height rather than moving within the player's view. Loot cards are hidden when players sprint, dive, slide, or use lethal tacticals and field upgrades. This sounds fire as fuck.
Nice.
I don't feel like that was there yesterday. Was that line there yesterday?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't see it.
I remember when I made the video, this was there.
The loot cards are hidden while players sprint, die. I don't remember reading that part. Huh. That's actually
I remember
pretty
it in
good.
the video, but that's fucking fire. I remember seeing. Okay,
That's a big deal.
Let's go through one after the other, right? So there's a difference between loot cards and loot. So JD, scroll up. Scroll up to where you show the floating loot.
Yeah, loot cards is literally the name of the gun.
It's a card.
Where it'll say the actual attachments it has. Usually 4.
It's just a little
out of
HUD.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, so right here, this is the way your gun's gonna look when you're not close enough or you're not looking directly at it. This is the way loot's gonna look. You can see it, it's green, whatever the fuck the colors, you can see the floating. But whenever you go to pick it up, right now in the game, chat, let me see if I can explain this. There's a rectangle that appears that tells you like the gun name, how many like attachments it has, and the
Just
rarity.
a description.
Yeah,
It does that for everything. Armor plates, ammo.
Yeah.
It's just a little HUD, rectangle HUD.
Yeah, so so scroll down. So now knowing that, let's go over this a little bit more in depth, right? So right here, go back up. It says, loot cards are now centered over items to improve readability, particularly when combined with floating loot. So I think right now they're like off to the right a little bit or some shit like that. So now it'll be directly
It's like inside of it a little
bit.
bit. It's like in it a little bit to the right.
Yeah. And then
On top, in front of the loot and to the right.
the next one, loot cards remain at a fixed height rather than moving with the player's view. I don't know how that's going to actually play whenever we actually like play it. That's something that I don't even notice now.
How do I explain it? It's not going to be in one fixed spot when you're moving around. It'll be attached to the item. That makes sense? So right now it's kind of like center to the right. It won't be center to the right. It'll be fixed. Whether if you move all the way to the right, it'll be the top left now. If you move all the way left, it'll be top right now.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Okay, cool. Then this one, again, I think the best change out of all this is loot cards are hidden when players sprint, dive, slide, or use lethal tacticals and field upgrades. That is going to make for significantly less visual clutter when playing the game. I'm curious for people who have like auto tac sprint, how that's going to feel whenever like you're trying to go to the loot and then you have to probably like, I wonder if you have to stop, you have to stand still and then pick it up, right? Or how that will work.
You'll still be able to grab it. It's just not going to have the annoying HUD. Let's say someone's in a building and you're running at them. They're not going to be invisible because you have a big icon in front of you. You'll be able to actually see it. I've had this happen a few times. It's not very, very like extraordinarily changing, but it definitely helps with stupid situations like that.
Visual clutter and shit. Yeah. Okay. So let's, it says loot cards now have contextual prompts. For example, if the player has an empty weapon slot, a weapon loot card prompt will say equipped. But if the player has 2 weapons equipped, the prompt will say swap. Okay.
That's
a little
quality of life. Yeah.
Let's go down. Buy stations. So we get the OG buy stations back. This is the vertical layout that you guys all know and love with a good twist and a W quality of life change. The vertical list is back. The buy station interface has been streamlined, returning to a vertical list layout to more clearly display purchasable items and teammates eligible for redeployment. The left side of the buy station now clearly shows all gear available for purchase, including equipment, kill streaks, and field upgrades. The right side of the interface, which doesn't show it there, which maybe we'll get a little bit better picture somewhere, we'll be able to, where is that? The right side of the interface will display teammates who have been eliminated and are eligible for buyback, provided they are not currently awaiting a Gulag battle. Scroll down, Bobby. Importantly, controller players can still press up, so it's like a carousel, right? Up to access the loadout drop marker in one button press, as we wanted to retain the carousel interface to allow for quick access to items further down the list. So chat, instead of having to go all the way down to get to your loadout, you just click up once and it goes to the very bottom.
You don't have to go all the way down. You don't have to go all the way to the right. You just press.
Yeah, the Hulu ass fucking left, down, right, up, left, down, down, left type shit, you know? So it says to enhance navigation efficiency and emphasize loadout acquisition, individual weapon purchases have been removed. So big change to the gameplay loop. No longer buying guns. So I know somebody had asked that a little bit. Yeah, back to the OG, which I personally, I like that. I like that. and pretty much here in the summary, they just say they plan to, they want to prioritize the classic battle royale experience of 2020. And a lot of these are cool. I love the quality of life changes that they made, which we'll go over in a bit. So yeah, let's go down. This right here, the redeploy all button. And this, guys, do you guys know if there's any game that has this right now?
Well, kind of.
Like
I mean,
Fortnite.
Apex is, yeah, Apex when you
actually have
reboot and stuff, everybody comes back, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nobody has buybacks, I don't think. Maybe like off the grid, but
I like this. I think this is fucking fire. I think this is probably one of the best quality of life changes they've done in a while. Pretty much, you go into the buy station and you press square or X, depending on what controller you're using, and it automatically buys back anybody who you have money for. And it prioritizes who has the most money in the game, right? So if, for example, this one, Ives, yeah. So Ives has the most money. If you press X or square, it'll bring back Ives no matter what, or whoever has the most money no matter what, off rip, which it's gonna make for end game situations. You have to go crazy. You have to go really quick in the buy. You go to the buy station.
Fast. Yeah.
Yeah. You press X square, and instantly you buy back all your teammates. And then it tells you, it gives you flares for how many players are back. So fire as fuck. I think this is a W change.
yep.
Well, it's a good change, especially for people who are not as good at Warzone and they kind of panic when it's a tough situation in the buy station. That's really good for those people.
Yeah, I would say 2v2s. You better be careful, fellas. And then let's scroll down.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking hilarious. I already know there's gonna be some crazy 2v2s where people fuck up and like it's like, ah, shit. Okay, so it says item icons. So you pretty much, you just see each entry in the vertical buy station now shows the icon of the respective item, as we found that this vastly sped up the at-a-glance navigation and playtesting. All right, item count. The thing that this is confusing me is there's nothing. Everything's unlimited, right? As of right now.
Well, up to their discretion. They may add stuff that isn't. They may have a special and high loot zones. Maybe the buy stations in those zones, because there's going to be 30 stationary buy zones. So maybe the buy station at Super, because it's a high traffic whatever zone, maybe that one has a golden gas mask and there's only one. It doesn't mention any of those things there, but I wouldn't be surprised if those types of elements happen. And that's how that would work, in my opinion. But
Right.
as of right now, they just have the unlimited. So that maybe if they need to change it later, because maybe they realize too many selves are on the floor or whatever, they can make adjustments.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I hope it stays unlimited. Unless there's things that are absolutely OP, but we'll see how that plays out. Category subheaders. We appreciate that for new players, being able to see the equipment category like kill streaks or field upgrades is helpful to know what item slot will be equipped or swapped when an item is purchased. So pretty simple stuff. Let's go to adjustments. Spawn locations. Okay. Am I fucking high? But wasn't there a lot more buy stations in OG?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure?
There was literally one at prison.
I feel like when they first, like the hardcore version of the game, there was like 15 or something.
Chad,
crazy.
somebody go look it up. Somebody go look
There
it
would
up.
be two at prison, but they would like rotate between
Alternate
outside the prison or right inside the prison.
Somebody go look it up. I promise you there was more.
Because usually you have the one at Super or the one across the way at the gas station. You had the one at storage. You had the one in the airport parking lot at the top.
Downtown, there was literally two.
Yeah, one by the tall ass building with the
one at
elevator
the
zips
government
in the middle.
building, and then one with like the square building in the middle.
Yeah, there's a little rectangle. Yeah. Where you had to climb the ladder to get to the roof. Those were terrible fucking ladders.
Okay.
That little neighborhood just outside a stadium, that had one, and they actually had two different ones there.
I expect an apology from you guys, chat, when you guys find out how many there actually were. All right, so 30 buy stations, and they're static across the board. I like that. Where did I read that I saw somewhere that they were changing?
I don't know. That's what you said last pod too,
right?
And the wording sounded like it was static, but
Interesting.
But now they've clarified it, so I don't know if they watch the pod and they're like, let's be very specific. Yeah, the interactive map, I think that's like maybe for LTM stuff they can change.
Right.
But the base version of the game will have the 30 static locations. At least off launch, they could always change that.
Okay. Yeah, static just means that they're not rotating. That's all. They're always going to be exactly where they are. They might change them, right?
Well, that's kind of how they have them now, right? Because they change every season.
Yeah.
Right?
Kazakhstan,
that's what I think they'll probably do.
And they completely change your gameplay loop, but at least like when you first land in the season, you'll know, okay, there's always going to be a buy station like in front of the super, if it's in the little parking, or it's going to be across the street. And like whichever one it is, that's the way it's going to be for at least until the mid-season.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, there was not fucking 10. There was not 10. That's insane.
No, yeah.
Well, originally I think they like when they talked about Warzone for the first time, when they were theory crafting the game, they actually play tested it way back before like ever became Warzone. They play tested it with like very few buy stations, like 10 or 12. But then what they noticed is because there were so few, everyone just camped buy stations for kills.
What you're saying before it even came out?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they play tested it with that few. And so there's a side effect of having too few buy stations is that people will just camp them because they know, all right, I got 5 grid squares. There's only 1 buy station. Everyone has to come back here. They're going to get their teammate, get their loadout. They're going to be vulnerable. We're going to be ready to jump. That's going to be a hunter like camping in the bushes, ready to come out with them.
Whoa.
With the, hey.
We know you like that content.
That's kind of how Endgame is right now. Endgame's like, all right, there's 1 buy station. We need to make sure everyone's got their eyes on the buy station so no one runs over and buys their people. So imagine that, but it was like first circle.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's good they came out. 30, I think, might feel like a lot. I don't know what the actual numbers are for even what we have currently in Urzikstan. 30 does feel like a lot, but it'll probably be plenty for what we want to play with. Yeah.
How many are in Urzikstan now?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
No idea.
Okay. All right. I actually am curious to see how that plays out. Then inventory pricing. So there's a couple things here. Stop me whenever you guys want here. All right, fellas. We have armor plates are 300. I assume is that a stack or is that one?
Just one.
Plate.
One,
with
right?
me.
Yeah, plate.
All right, yeah. Armor plate.
Well, you only need to buy 5 to be fully stocked up.
Oh shit.
Stacks of what, bro?
Yeah, bro.
That's how it used to be.
Okay, a little pancake stab, bro. Then we got cluster strikes, $3,000. Pre-peace strikes, $5,000. UAVs, all right. UAVs, 6,000.
Didn't it say
Sure.
4?
Oh,
I thought it said
that's what I'm
4
saying.
the other
That's what I'm
day.
saying.
It said 4. It said 4 in the
blog.
Yeah,
In the
icon.
I think the
it was
graphic, it wasn't accurate
screenshot.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was the
those weren't
graphic.
accurate.
I'm
Wasn't
telling you.
Because those had the loadouts at 15K.
Bro,
I'm
Yeah,
telling
that
you,
was
man, they
like,
do this all the time. They change little things like in different blogs and shit.
Well, a lot
Yeah.
of that's because they do put stuff out and then they see sentiment on it and then they'll change things.
But they don't say like, hey, we decided to change this. They just do it.
Yeah, I guess. Then they don't have to say they
because-
were wrong or change their mind, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they also had like munis in there. I think were like 5K or something. Our armor boxes were 4, I think, as well. Like I know they still are, but
damn,
yeah, there was.
They really don't want you to have fucking armor boxes, twin. 4,000.
No, they hate, bro. They heard hunters.
They hate
so
Wasn't
loud
it
and
4,000 before that?
Yeah, no. Like, are you talking about right
Used to
now?
be 4,000. Used to be
You're talking
4,000.
about
clear.
OG.
OG,
Oh, yeah,
it
probably,
might even be
probably.
more.
And I think OG was 5,000, bro. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
Look,
see,
I have a feeling
4,000 might not be that bad.
They're gonna come out this game, the OG, whatever, and there's gonna be a lot of quality of life things that they're just gonna change because the game has changed so much. Where if you go to OG and you keep it for like that, it's like there were things obviously when Verdansk initially dropped that just weren't good for the game. So if the whole plate situation's bad, they're obviously gonna make changes, and we'll just kind of have to see it through. So, but that's just I agree. The plate thing, actually, you brought it up. I have a feeling it's might be
You
pretty
guys
bad,
did
but we'll
fine
see.
in
We'll
the
have to
original.
see.
You guys did
to
fine
see.
in the original.
Bro,
right.
but
Hunter, just because we did fine in the original doesn't mean we can't have an opinion on it, all right, man?
You wanted the original. They wanted the original. The original's coming back.
I can have an opinion on it.
nobody shot back, bro. I was like a 1 KD walking around back then. You know what I mean? I didn't even use. I was on double tap to sprint. Like I was a complete bot. There's just plates nowadays. Like people weren't even shooting back then.
Somebody
Nowadays,
said
it's like,
slide
cancel.
You guys did
On
fine in
Earth,
Caldera, though.
cancel.
In
There's
Caldera, you
29
guys
buy
did just
stations
fine.
currently on Urzikstan, they said.
How many, puppy?
How many?
29 on Urzikstan currently, right now.
Oh, so it's the same. It's the same. Okay. Technically the same.
Well,
Yeah.
this could be a little different because you gotta understand there's a lot of dead areas like water. There's a lot of water in Urzikstan.
Yeah,
so
map
that changes.
size, scaling. There's quite a
I
big
think map
differences,
scaling
but
is
30
so much
will be
different
enough.
Yeah, it will most certainly be enough. Definitely.
Okay. All right. So the next one, fellas, is we went over UAVs, gas masks 3,000, self revives 4K, muni boxes 2.5, armor boxes 4K. Now, loadout drop marker went over this a little bit earlier. I like that they did solos 6K. I think that's cool as fuck. I think honestly, this tells me that a glimpse at more than likely cash is, which we already know, cash can be a lot harder. So maybe 7.5K, they didn't feel comfortable doing that. 6K, and so yeah. Dual shield squads 10K. I like that. And then squad mates
And
buyback is
OG
4,000.
was actually 10K across the board.
Yeah, it was bad in
solos.
solos. In solos, it was brutal getting loadout.
So that's good little change that they added. Squad mates, I do like that it's 4K. Again, it's just gonna value your life a little bit more. We'll see how it actually plays out. Interact angle, pretty much the same thing. It feels like from what we went over. The buy station can now be accessed from any angle, including behind it, providing increased flexibility during tense engagements. Right now, you have to literally be in front of it or like at a certain degree angle, right? But yeah, so they have that. Now movement. Oh God, we've been waiting for this one, or at least chat has. Look, I'm gonna start off by saying, I thought when I was reading this, and you know, when I made the video about it, I thought it was gonna be way worse. Transparently, I thought it was gonna be way worse. Just because, bro, whenever they fucking touch movement, they just fuck it all up. So when it comes to movement, I always expect the worst. And honestly, it doesn't seem that bad. Again, I'm gonna wait to play it on Thursday, and I'm gonna feel so down bad if it's like, yo, it's fuck, like it's bad. So we're gonna go ahead and see. So long story short, what they said was they changed the movement to better align with Warzone's
Yeah, the paragraph.
mechanics.
If you scroll just a hair down, the paragraph's there. There it is.
Okay, so yeah, we'll read this. These values bring Call of Duty Warzone's movement speeds closer to the spirit of the original experience while still preserving the fluidity of Black Ops 6. We encourage players to go hands-on with these fine-tuned changes as they can be hard to express in a patch note. The proof is in the pudding, bro. Yeah, so I'm a couple things to bring up here. And I know some people might not think this is a big deal. I think this is a huge fucking deal. They are going away from one-to-one movement. They are going away from one-to-one things in general. And for those of you that don't really know, that is a big fucking deal when it comes to Warzone. Right now, multiplayer is affected by Warzone and Warzone is affected by multiplayer. There's a lot of things, and it's a big reason of why like Warzone kind of has sucked for the last 2 years, apart from all the bad decisions that they made. But Activision has this thing where they want to keep the movement one-to-one, and they want to keep everything as one-to-one as possible. For example, weapon bob, weapon sway, visual recoil, all that shit. It's amplified on a bigger map, right? I'm gonna use visual recoil as an example. Visual recoil on Black Ops 6 is not nearly as noticeable because the engagements are a lot closer. The average engagements are significantly smaller than it is on big map. When it's on big map, that little visual recoil that you get is amplified like crazy on a big map. So them wanting to change or literally separating completely from Black Ops 6 movement, I hope that this means Warzone is slowly starting to take little baby steps into being its own separate shit from multiplayer. Again, I understand their reasoning behind it and like, oh, they want to keep it one-to-one, et cetera, et cetera. But I hope this means that they're now not going to try to just do everything one-to-one, because the multiplayer and Warzone are two completely separate games. And if you're trying to combine the two, it's just going to fuck up both.
I got that same feeling too as I was reading through. I think there was 3 different points where I mentioned the same thing. This was one of those where it's good that they continue to differentiate. We won't really know for sure until the next iteration comes out where it would be a typical integration. but it doesn't happen. And then we continue with the same version of the game, continually improving and getting all the quality of life stuff that potentially could have been lacking because they're worried about an integration for BO7 or whatever the hell is supposed to happen, or the next game with IW. So I think it's good too. Hopefully it's actually continues where it does feel like they're split games and we can get our version of the game improved. Multiplayer gets theirs focused on, and zombies gets theirs focused on by the respective devs that are supposed to be working on those areas, and they don't have to cross-pollinate nearly as much. Or, as they've had to do over the multiple years, Raven has had to go, okay, can we do this Treyarch? Can we do this IW?
Yeah, they got to ask permission for everything.
Yeah.
Well, that
I say no.
A lot of people don't know that. And I think that's why I'm saying like that is a huge deal that they're separate. At least from what we can see, they're separating. They don't gotta ask Treyarch anymore. They don't gotta ask Infinity Ward, can we do this? Like, because they Activision wants it 1-to-1. Like, now Warzone can be its own thing. At least I hope, right? But go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
what helps with it being 1-to-1 too is they could basically market Warzone as like a new Warzone every year. Like, oh look, it's a new Warzone because look at all these different, stuff like that. And the thing to add on what you said about the engagements are not as far. They're also, the engagement angles are never the same either, because in multiplayer you have your limits, right? A second story building is always going to be your limits in multiplayer, and on top of that, there's death barricades, there's invisible barriers, there's boundaries in multiplayer versus Warzone. There's no boundaries other than the edge of the map, so it's completely different. So like the movement, for example, it works on Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer a little bit better than Warzone, obviously, because you don't have to worry about death barriers. You don't have to worry about jumping on high places, diving, all that. So that makes complete sense why it should be separate. They're not even anywhere near.
Like even now, right now, we're still plagued by the mancing speeds being slower than what we had last year, and strictly because like
the boots difference is huge.
Even that, bro. But wasn't it default? It was default last year.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So like this year, it's like, hey, I'm sure it's like, yo, Treyarch, can we make mantling faster? They're probably like, yeah, but not too fast. And now we have what we have now. So I'm hoping that they like, because now it's separating, that they have now freedom to do whatever it is that they want to fucking do. Yeah. Now let's go over the actual fucking changes. We went on a little spiel here. But crouch movement speed reduced by 10%. I don't think this is that big of a deal here.
Who's
like,
crouch walking, bro?
Yeah,
crouch walking is either people that camp, or like, let's say you're trying to sneak up on somebody and you want to like minimize your noise. That's the only situations really. Realistically, you're running around.
So that I don't think doesn't matter that much. Now this next one is I know some people didn't understand this. It's a buff. It's a buff. Crouch to stand speed increased by 15%, which means that snaking just got fucking buffed.
What's weird too is I don't know how much though, because part of the snaking is you have to go prone, right?
Yeah.
Crouch spamming is a little different, and they didn't mention anything about prone, so I don't know if like part of the animation is because of the crouch to stand is slow, and that's impacting the prone part because you have to get up before. So I don't know. I want to see how it feels, because it's great that it's buffed, but like the snaking animation, you do a full animation to the ground and then you sprint out of it up and you go back down, and it's the cycle. So it's like, this only solves like part of that animation.
Yeah. It makes me think of how when you slide and then get up real fast, like when you're trying to do movement. I wonder if that's gonna affect it a lot too for gunfights.
Yeah, exactly.
The popcorn shot. Like again, they addressed
like slide canceling.
Slide cancel.
The slide canceling where you do the slide on your, and then you drop to the butt and then pop back up.
Yeah. Look, that speed. I hope it makes things snappier. Again, my biggest one that I think hopefully makes the game feel drastically different, and I'll get into that right now, is the last one. But let me continue. So it says crouch to stand speed while ADS increased by 39%. Right, so I can see that being a big, for especially keyboard and mouse players. A lot of them in Apex or other games, it's meta to like crouch spam while ADSing. Like that's a meta. This could potentially change the way people get into engagements, where maybe you slide cancel through a corner, you ADS, and then you're spamming your what's called crouch up and down. You never know. 39% seems pretty fucking insane. I don't know.
this is
I don't
pretty
know.
Call of Duty
Still
doesn't
not
have
good.
the same Apex like design. I don't think that'll be the case.
No, this was really good in MW 2019, like busted. So if it's anywhere near what MW 2019 is, I mean, obviously this is more of like an elite tactic, you know, for like maybe like a little bit sweatier players. But I'm telling you, like all the pros and at least when I used to compete, like I was doing this. But so if it's smooth and it's like how it was MW 2019, this is like a massive deal.
Okay, we'll see. It could be good. It could be good, bro. So prone movement speed again. Not many people. Y'all saw the comment, huh? Y'all saw.
Yeah.
Prone movement speed reduced by 5%. Again, I'm personally not too. I don't care too much about this one. It's like it's not that big of a deal, right? Now and sprint movement speed reduced by 4.9%. This one is the one that could potentially have a pretty big outcome on the way the game is affected. Not necessarily the gameplay loop, but just in general, the way the game actually feels. How much is 4.9%? Is that, because yeah, I mean, guys, if you take a video from Modern Warfare 2019 or 2020, whatever Warzone, and you look at it now, sprinting speeds are way faster now. So like they said, they're changing it to align closer to what the game felt back then, right? So we'll see how that feels. I hope 4.9% isn't too crazy.
I know when you do an attachment and you get 4.5 or almost 5%, it makes your gun feel way slower.
Right.
But hopefully it doesn't feel like that. We'll see.
Like horrible, right? You never know. So yeah, now this next one, guys. Okay, so somebody brought it up in the chat, and this was, in my opinion, a big deal. It's right now, the game feels like back in Modern Warfare 2019, everything was slower, but there was no penalties, no delays, and animations were instant, right? Right now, gameplay is technically a lot faster with crazy slide speeds, crazy stuff, but there's a lot of delays, there's a lot of penalties, there's a lot of little things like animation speeds. This next one, I hope that this means that, yes, they made the strafing speeds slower, which will go down, we'll scroll down a little bit, but the directional sprint animation blend speeds increased for improved fluidity. I hope that means that in Modern Warfare 2019, you go instantly into a sprint and boom, your gun's automatically up. There's no like, there's no ramp up, right? It's instant. You go like, if you literally got your stick and you went forward and you just kept spamming it, right? Forward and back, your character would literally do like instantly. Right now, it's there's a little bit of a ramp up, right?
It's floaty. It floats a little bit.
Yeah, floaty. Yeah. I hope with them tuning all these things, they make those things like fast, right? That's my hope.
I hope so too.
I don't know what that means. We don't know what that means, right? So let's go down because there's a couple other things apart from that, right? So jump cooldown. Reduce the cooldown by 40% for improved responsiveness during repeated jumps. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is not bunny hopping.
Nah, bro.
Well, I'm gonna
I saw
assume
that
it's
last
not because last time we got finessed.
successive jumps. Successive jumps was the word they used. And I tried successive jumping, and let me tell you, it did not successive jump. Like, it was so bad last time.
I'm gonna keep it above 50. I don't think this is going to be bunny hopping. Just my opinion based off what we know, based off, what history has shown. I don't think this is gonna be bunny hopping.
Yep.
You never fucking know. Who fucking knows, right? But I just don't. I don't know. We saw successive jumps decrease time or whatever the fuck, and it felt like shit.
Bro.
Like
that video of me
I'd like to be pleasantly
at
surprised on this one. No,
I would.
That'd be a W.
I would like to be.
If they're gonna do bunny hopping, bro, it needs to be right. So I don't want no half-assed bunny hop. If we're getting a bunny hop, it needs to be not what it used to be, but it needs to be smooth and like flowy. Like, maybe a couple jumps where it feels very good. You actually cover some distance.
Yeah. Oh. So let's see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The next one is Omni Sprint side and back speed scaling. So it reduced by 8.5% to better balance strafe movement. So this is the one that I think will probably play the biggest impact on the game. Right now, we have a pretty drastic side strafing speed and even backwards movement speed.
Well, this kind of we talked about in the blog. They previewed it, and we talked a little bit about what it actually meant. It ended up meaning exactly what we kind of talked about, where it would just scale based off whatever the difference is. Now it'll be 8%, whatever, a little bit slower, so it's not like insane.
Right. So again, this one, this is the one I'm more concerned about. Not even necessarily the sprinting one. I think we are so in our brains wired with omni movement that this will 8.5% seems like a lot. This maybe I'm faded, but this seems like a lot. Like, so does this just mean like it's just speed scaling? What is that I don't understand that term. Speed scaling. Like I think that means
like
ramp up,
up,
bro.
Yeah, when I hear scaling, I hear ramp up.
That means ramp up. It's not even speed. I think that means like it's gonna take you 8.5% longer to get into full sprint.
No, I explained this last time. No.
Explain it again.
Okay. So if you sprint at 10 meters per second or whatever.
Right.
And before you used to side strafe, and it would be 90% of that speed. You'd go at 9 meters per second. Now it'll be reduced by 8.5%. So that'll be like about 10% slower. So it'd be 88.1 meters per second. So now you'll be moving 20% slower than your forward sprint. That's just a rough example. Those aren't the actual numbers.
Right. What does this scaling thing mean though?
Like let me give you just a real world
thing. I just explained.
Just explain. I'll explain.
I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it.
You know how like let's say you use Photoshop before, right? No. You know how you can scale an image? Like you can like let's say you're trying to put like an icon, you scale it down. That's exactly the same, but in gameplay terms for sprinting.
Okay, so in Fortnite terms, you're 8.5% slower.
No.
In Call of Duty terms, it's reduced by 8.5%.
So let's say when you sprint, you always go twice as fast as you walk, right?
Right.
So if you increased your walking speed, you would effectively increase your sprint speed as well.
I get you.
And vice versa.
I get you now.
So if your sprint speed is slower, your walking is always going to be a scale ratio based off of the other.
I get it. I understand what you mean now. It's like multipliers and shit. I get you. I get it now. Okay.
Yo, like math. Math.
Yes,
like,
quick maths, bro. I understand it now. Okay. So, all right. I'm still fucking scared for that shit. And then last but not least is slide friction increased by 4% to reduce overly slippery engagements, which a lot of people have been really upset about this one. Not about this one. A lot of people are really upset about slippery engagements. So this, the biggest thing that I've seen, the biggest thing I've seen about Omni movement and why people don't fucking like it is they say it feels like the whole floor is waxed and you don't have control of your movement. So this increased by 4% to reduce overly slippery engagements. So I don't think that's too big of an issue.
This is a very specific thing because if you're running and then you jump and then while you're midair, you press the slide button, you're going really far while you're aiming the gun. And with aim assist, you can literally be just on rollerblades, sliding super fast and shooting perfectly. I abuse that. I know, I understand it. It's really overpowered.
Yeah. These will definitely, I'm gonna be honest, these movement heads will not like this shit. They will not like this at all, bro.
Because they just want clips. They're not actually trying to play the battle royale. They don't care about it. They just want clips.
So people are, listen, in theory, it seems not as bad as it actually sounds or like in my head as I thought it was going to be. So Thursday, let's see how it fucking plays out. Okay, let's go down.
Most people are not doing these kind of things regardless.
Right. I mean, even then, it's still like not necessarily. Fuck the clips. It's just like fluidity of the game, right? Like regardless whether you're casual or not, the game should feel like fluid and snappy. That doesn't mean OD, right? Like I think Modern Warfare 2019 was very fucking snappy, and I think nobody really complained about moving back then because it was anything you want to do, you could just do it. Right. So I hope,
except for
from what
Mantle.
Yeah, Mantle was slow.
Or climb rocks.
Oh yeah, you couldn't mantle shit, bro. So yeah, we'll see what they fucking do. I hope that they made at least things snappy, if that makes sense. If they slow things down a little bit, make things snappy, and anything you want to do, you can do, right?
Well, yeah.
Contracts now.
A term we did hear in the call, like obviously I won't say names, but they did say that was their goal, was to make things feel snappy. Like, and they use that literal term snappy. So hopefully that's the direction that we're going.
Yeah. Chat, let me know what you guys think Thursday. When that shit comes out, let's have a discussion and figure out if we think it's ass or if it's good, or we'll see. Next is contracts, guys. So we got the classic contracts. Some of them are back. So we got recons, right? Replacing the intel contract. The recon contract provides players with a 4-minute time frame to capture a designated domination point. Rewards for completion includes cash and a preview of the next circle. So instead of, I love this, instead of they fucking putting like a fucking DVD player into the thing, typing an essay, you just stand on a domination point and it captures it.
And it was also bugged sometimes when someone's typing on it, their player model would be above it, but their hitbox would be below it. I don't know if you've seen that Symphony clip, but it's a very common thing.
Yeah, so we'll see how this one fucking... I'm glad it's fucking back. I like the Dom part. I like that part. Anything Warzone 2 related, get that shit the fuck out. Next is supply runs, right? So the much-loved supply run contract returns. Players have 2 minutes to reach a designated buy station to earn rewards, which include cash and a single item fire sale for each squad member at the targeted buy station. Supply run contracts will now appear on the map until the first circle has fully... will not appear on the map, sorry, until the first circle has fully collapsed. W, this is one of the OG ones, man. I like this one. I think Ebatez loves this one right here. I think you told me that you love this one.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
Okay. So let's go down. Cool, because the loadout shit, they'll be reduced and stuff. The
loadouts, they're not going to be reduced.
Oh, you're right? Let me see. Go back up, JD.
They weren't reduced in the original either.
You're right. It says minus 6K, 6K.
Yeah, in the original, they weren't reduced either from supply runs.
Okay. Let's go down, Papa. Contract multiplier. We talked about this. Great addition to the gameplay loop. Every time you complete a contract, it'll give you a 30% increase in cash bonus, stacking up to a maximum of 150 additional cash rewards in Battle Royale and Resurgence mode. So, Ebatez, this answers your question. It is coming.
Yep.
That stuff. So, yeah, I mean, we saw
that's
how
a lot
was,
still.
Yeah. So what was it before? There was no limit, right? You could just...
There was no limit. But I think it was only 10% before. I don't remember what the percentage was before. But either way, if you do 3 contracts, it's essentially the next contract will be doubled. Right?
And
so if you get 6K per person and for a bounty, the next, like after you've done a few, the bounties will be giving 12K a person.
Yeah.
Like or more. Like 15K. That's
These
crazy.
shits are gonna be so insane, bro. All right, so the next one is tablet models. All contracts have reverted to the original tablet models, providing players with a nostalgic experience. We went over this at the beginning. Finally, we no longer have to crouch spam prone into getting the contracts right. Now you can actually, it's just floating. Fire.
Yeah, I don't like it says nostalgic though. It's just a better experience. It does. We don't have to say it's nostalgic. It's just a better experience.
It
overall.
is a better experience, 100%.
Okay. All right. Let's go down. Adjustments. So if you do it in a different format, JD, if you zoom out, there you go. So they've made a couple things
scroll
up. Yeah, we went a little bit down with the zoom out. A little bit more right
there.
No,
up more. Sorry.
Damn, it went down a lot. There you go. So the contracts that are available is the bounty, most wanted, recons, scavenger, and supply runs. And they disabled the big game bounty, signal intelligence.
That's coming
and
back
spy
though.
Drones.
Big game bounty will be coming back.
Yes.
Did they say it in the patch? Or sorry,
yeah,
the
later on.
I think
it's part of the roadmap. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not the other ones though.
Mid-season. Okay. All right. Spawn rebalancing. So contract spawn rates have been adjusted throughout base battle royale to enhance distribution and improve overall gameplay balance. Doesn't exactly say what it does, but yeah. Payout updates. So contract payouts have been updated to align more closely with values reminiscent of the Verdansk era, although not exactly matching them. Supply run and recon contracts payouts are now standardized to match the scavenger contract values in both battle royale and resurgence modes. Completing a most wanted contract no longer results in a supply cash drop, and plunder specific contract payouts have been adjusted for consistency across modes. Okay. The recon contract progress. Added upward arrows indicating how much faster a recon contract is being captured by your team, depending on how many players are on the target location assisting with the capture. That's cool. That's a cool little quality of life. Now for public events, these are the things I know. They don't mention anything about Gulag stuff here, right? Like Gulag events, which I assume they're just not there.
They're not there.
Yeah,
No.
I would assume they're not there.
So for public events, the only things coming right now are fire sale, jailbreak, loadout drop, and restock. And disabled are flybys, cash drops, contractor, rogue signals, runaway train, and recon flyover. So pretty simple, nothing too crazy. Sometimes keep it simple, keep it simple. Now moving on to equipment. JGOD, or can somebody take over? I got to do something. 2 seconds over here. Give me 1
Hey,
second.
you got it?
Yeah, we just got the thermites coming back, which will be useful for whatever. We'll see end up having they actually work. If you scroll down, we actually have a bunch of items that are going to be available on the lethals and tacticals, kind of what we're already used to. You scroll down a little bit further. Experimental gas, I think people are still a little bit upset about. But these ones right here are only going to be available through loadout. So you have to actually equip these specific ones to your loadout, and you're only going to have them when you grab them from your loadout. So if you want those, you'll have to do that part.
Grenades.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit further to the satchels. So bandolier as well as the utility box, I think those still come with the munitions satchel and the utility box. So that's if you want to go that route. And then the armor satchel will be specifically for the 3 extra plates. They also make an adjustment from 6 down to 5.
Didn't we read the last patch notes? I know I keep going back and forth, but they said ammo satchels were gone, and they also said that utility boxes were gone. Because I know we were like, oh, battle ready.
You're only able to get them through loadout, though. They're not in the game in any other way.
Yeah, the last patch, those were just confusing. Those were like the blog, whatever. That was confusing compared to this.
Because we were going over everything. We're like, oh, utility boxes are gone, supply UAVs are gone, battle ready's basically going to get eliminated probably, but it seems like they just meant for a loadout specifically, just not ground loot.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they'll keep it still simple, ground loot. And basically, the only way you're going to engage with that type of thing is if you're forcing yourself to by equipping it in your loadout.
Right.
All right, sorry, I'm back. Where we at, boys?
I'm back.
Armor adjusting?
We're just
Just
going to go
about
over
the equipment.
Okay. So maximum armor plates. That's where we're at. Default maximum capacity reduced from 6 to 5 to match the class experience. Still disagree. Sorry, Hunter. I think you should say at 6. Armor satchel capacity now increases plate capacity by additional 3 plates, as opposed to it doubles it. So we're going from regular plates 5, and then when you get armor satchel, it goes to 8. Which is OG, right? True OG experience. As opposed to what we have now.
Well,
it's 6 to 12.
there were no satchels. It was
True,
only
it came out season what?
Like it was like pretty soon. It was pretty soon, yeah.
This will probably be adjusted within the first 2 months, I'd say. This will get changed very quickly. I have a feeling.
Yeah,
I hope so. Okay, the next one is armor drops. So this is changed right now. I correct me if I'm wrong. Eliminated players will consistently drop at least 1 armor plate in Battle Royale and Resurgence. Right now, I believe it drops 2 if they don't have anything. Right now, it drops 2, so they lowered that down to every time you get a kill, it drops at least 1. Right? So I assume the way this is going to work, and again, let me know if you guys know. If somebody has, let's say, 4 plates, right? If you kill them, do they then drop 5? Does it give that 1 additional, or will they then drop only 4? Does that make sense?
I think
I don't know. My plates are always full. I don't know.
Yeah. I think they'll drop whatever number they have, but if they have 0, to drop 1.
Okay, yeah. This is gonna feel weird. I think we'll see. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but it will be like OG. But the faster time to kill with not having as much plates as we're used to might feel a little scrappy. So let's see how it plays out, right? So it says armor is your first line of defense and gauges how freely you'll take engagements. Recently, armor supplies have been so plentiful that enemies are able to reinforce armor several times in the middle of a fight, and the notion of downtime or the need to resupply has been lost. This massively affects the pace of the game and also changes how you rotate to the next safe zone. To maintain balanced gameplay, armor has become less abundant, ensuring players experience meaningful downtime and strategic decisions between engagements. This returns the gameplay feel to a more classic experience, emphasizing the value of armor resupply. So again, one common thing that you'll see throughout this is they kind of want us to have less, like they want to have more downtime. which I get. You know, it's going to slow down the gameplay. But maybe they want that because they want maybe slowing down the gameplay in mid game, but then end game.
Guys are going to be fine. Okay, you guys are going to be fine. It's what the original. You guys were doing great in the original one. Swag, Biffle, everyone was doing great in the original one. All right, there's no war. You lived with this for 3 iterations of Warzone.
I'm saying, Hunter, if you go, for example, let's say I'm gonna use an example, soda, right? You go from drinking diet soda your whole life, and then you have you drink a sugar soda. You're like, oh shit, this is crack, and you only eat sugar soda for the next 3 years. And then if you go back to diet soda, you're like, what the fuck is this? I hated this shit.
But,
right? That's just
overall, which one's better? Long term, which one's better?
I understand. That was just an analogy. You know what I'm saying?
Diet long term is better.
Agreed.
Look, I'm just saying I don't want to fight a Terminator sitting on a roof and I break him 5 times. I'm just sick of that. It's not. It just doesn't. You look again. You're gonna be fine. You lived with this for freaking Vanguard, Cold War, and Modern Warfare.
That is an insane analogy, Farms. That's insane. Yeah, we'll be okay. But you know, again, maybe it's going to be a drastic, polarizing change that we all don't expect.
It wasn't.
We didn't expect.
Look, the most polarizing one was when we went to Modern Warfare 2 and you were literally like begging for a plate with a freaking cup, a little mug, and a wood sign saying plates. That was a different experience. You're going to be fine. I just know it.
All right, chat. Hey, clip it. And one of us is going to be wrong 5 months from now. We'll see. All right, going down. Gulag armor removed in unranked, so regular lobbies and unranked battle royale modes. The Gulag now features health-only combat, placing greater emphasis on precision and tactical movement, reminiscent of the classic Gulag experience. So just know that with the increased time to kill, you're going to get fucking zapped. You're going to get fucking zapped, bro. So, yeah, we'll see. OG, right? Armor plate color improvements. I believe this, what did they change here? I read it and I feel like we have this now, right? So it says the armor plate color has received an improvement where the color hue will be darker if the player doesn't have full plates. The color will remain the familiar bright color hue when players are full. This will better indicate to players when they have almost full plates. Don't we have this now?
I think right now, if you're full on plates, the number's gold, isn't it?
Yeah.
In your bottom left? Yeah.
And then it's white. It's white if you're not
Maybe
full.
they're talking about the actual armor plate icon now. Like they're just improving it.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. I'm curious to see what that actually looks like in game. Let's scroll down there, puppy. Field upgrades. So pretty much in the squad widget, small but pretty good change. They have the squad widget appearing at the bottom. Before that was never there. You had your gas mask, your plates, and your kill streaks. And then I don't know what that the far right one is. I forgot what that is. But now they just added one more slot there to show what type of field upgrades you have as well. Oh, self-res. There you go. That's what it was. So now you'll be able to see everything that your homies have. So, you know.
This is huge because some people don't be saying shit and when you need shit. So, good change.
Scroll down.
Well, also, I don't know how the guy has 5 plates in his inventory, but he doesn't have 5 plates.
Wait, what?
Oh, he doesn't have plates. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Graphic error.
They didn't think about that one.
Talk about the thing above the Y and then the bottom left. Yeah. Okay, scroll down. Found the first bug. Now, field upgrades, fellas. This one, again, while I was over there, I heard you guys had my headphones on talking about the whole utility boxes, etc. Let's go over this. So in the game, you will have armor boxes, deployable cover, heartbeat sensors, munition boxes, recon drones, trophy systems, and utility boxes. But it will only be available to you with Battle Ready. They have disabled deployable buy stations, portable decontamination stations, portable radars, portable redeploy drones, redeploy drone beacon, reinforcement flares, scrambler, and war cry. So PDSs will be back in mid-season.
Did they say that?
Mid-season. Yeah.
Okay.
They said it.
I was going to
back in
say,
mid-season.
I like PDSs. I was like, I don't know why they took them out, but okay. It's good to hear.
Yeah, I said they'll be back in
I think the
mid-season.
PDS might be like the only, but Warcry and Scrambler are pretty useless, but I feel like everything else in there has been pretty predatorial towards the gameplay, especially the portable radars and the redeployed drone beacons. Those have been like really predatorial.
Even deployable buy stations was pretty big change. Yeah. Okay,
because
let's go down.
100% of the time, I'll take a deployable buy station over every other field upgrade in the game. Like, there's no chance I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Where we at? So reclaimable heartbeat sensor. Oh, heartbeat sensor increased battery life from 60 to 120 seconds.
Yep.
I assume they wanted to make this pretty viable because it was so reminiscent of the game back in the day, right? So it says we can't return home properly without welcoming back the heartbeat sensor. While not infinite like its great predecessor, we understand that a minute of battery time is simply not enough to utilize effectively. That's not bad. Not bad.
I feel like people aren't going to really use this still since the field upgrade, because would you'd rather have an armor box or an ammo box over that 100% of the time. So I don't know if people are going to use this, to be honest. They're kind of useless.
It all depends on how, like, for example, if there really is no armor plates to go around, I'm going to make sure to have an armor box always, right? Like little things like that.
Well, you probably do that anyways now, right? You probably do that now, regardless.
Nah. Right now,
munitions.
Everything's
You have
so
munitions or
fucking
armor,
useless.
right?
Nah. Like everything's so useless right now. I'm gonna
What
be
do
honest.
you
Like,
use in the game?
I don't give a fuck.
Field upgrade wise.
I literally, you have so much shit on the map. Literally, I just grab what's it called? The single person zips. What are they called again?
Oh, okay. But preferably, you're gonna probably
PRDs?
grab ammo or armor over
PRDs.
heartbeats.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, again, it's different because in the game right now, you can take a zip and you can just hover and you can see people fighting. You can hear people shooting, and then you fly to that, right? We're not going to have that on Thursday. So maybe that heartbeat does become more viable to actually find engagements. UAVs are 6,000. If the money is now significantly less, those heartbeat, the baby monitors might be more viable. I think it's one of those things we can speculate, but I don't think you're going to be able to tell until you actually play it, right?
Yeah.
Till we see what the gameplay looks like. So reclaimable field upgrade icon. So pretty much if you don't have an icon or no field upgrade, it'll just have a little white dot, just like it always is. Now let's go down to kill streaks, man.
No, I think right now it's a big circle and it's kind of bugged sometimes. Sometimes it'll look like you have one when you don't.
I thought it was nothing.
In the bottom right, sometimes
it was like a little dot.
it's supposed to be a white faded out line, but sometimes it can be a blue faded in line, and sometimes it's confusing because sometimes either the icon pops up or you don't have anything, and it's showing the blue outline. That solves issues that you didn't think about.
Okay, these are like the little things that my brain doesn't really process. I thought it was a dot still. Okay, now kill streaks,
that's
guys.
2019. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like the way it looked like, I thought it was the same, but I could be faded. For kill streaks, guys, we have a very little, and I kind of like the simplicity of it. We have advanced UAVs, which are only able to be accessed with 3 consecutive UAVs. We have cluster strikes, precision airstrikes, supply UAVs, which are only available with battle ready, and then UAVs, right? So, again, it looked different in the blog last week.
Yep.
It had supply UAVs as disabled. So I don't know. I guess they kind of fixed it.
At least it's disabled from ground loot, because it's annoying when you get out of ground loot all the time. And Foresight, I feel like they'll bring that back with the bunkers. I feel like that'll be a bunker thing, because you could get those in bunkers back then. And then the other things, I don't see SAM turret or sentry gun coming back. It was weird because in the trailer, there was a sentry gun on top of a car in the trailer.
Yes. Yes, I saw that too, and that was so confusing.
Yeah, and then bunker. See, the disabled thing doesn't make sense because we know we're getting bunker busters back. The sentry gun's in the trailer,
which I hate.
Foresight is probably going to be in the bunker. This is just confusing sometimes in these patch notes.
So maybe they like, I don't know how they said it. I hope bunkers never come back. I hope they make the decision and they take the feedback that we don't want that shit. I hate that shit.
You know what's crazy? I actually like bunker busters. I just think that the time of the gas is way too long. Like the time that it sits there is way too long. But
yeah,
it is
it
good
completely disengages. It completely ruins engagement.
You couldn't
100%.
nerf it. You could nerf it. Like, I just obviously right now I don't like the way it is right now. I guess that becomes a question of, do they take it off completely or do they rebalance it when it comes back mid-season?
I think rebalancing is fun.
Okay.
SAM turrets though, please do not ever add those back. Please, for the love of God, just don't even bring those back. And multiplayer, they make sense, dude. Warzone. People don't. I literally will place one just to use it as cover if I'm in a field. Like I don't actually use them to be used. So don't even bring those back, please. Yeah, look, that's from the trailer. I'm like seeing that in the trailer. I'm reading the patch. I'm like, what? No sentry guns, but there's one shooting a helicopter in the trailer. Like I was confused about that.
What if there's an LTV? What if there's an LTV with just a turret on the back or on top? You can just hop on it.
They did that before. No, that seems like it's specific for the trailer, but I agree with you talking about. It's just a matter of, will it get added later? Will it be useful?
They're terrible. Like
Probably
they're
fucking
genuinely
not.
just useless.
They're fucking ass, bro.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, oh, everyone just shoot it. All right, move on.
Okay, let's go down. So this is a big change. I've seen a lot of controversy on this on the TL. I've seen Isaac hate it. A lot of people love it. Like, so
I love it.
Let's kind of go over it.
It's horrible. So bad.
Yeah, I like that you guys have different opinions on this. Precision airstrike indicator. To return to the classic feeling of Verdansk, the precision airstrike minimap notification that was added last year has been removed. We have removed the precision airstrike's approximate path indicator on the minimap in order to return back to how it worked in 2020, where part of its purpose was to surprise your enemies. We will monitor feedback data and sentiment on this as we look to the weeks ahead. All right, so chat, W or L, I expect to see this a big, split down the middle. I know how Ebatez feels. I know how Hunter feels. JGOD, tell me how you feel about this change.
Wait, hold on. After JGOD, we got to explain. We got let me and Ebatez just explain it.
But I want to hear what JGOD
So for
thinks.
me, I think it should have just stayed the way it is currently. I don't think they should have reverted it. Personally, I feel like those types of like precision airstrikes, in my opinion, their main purpose is an area denial, like on rotation. Like if somebody's sniping, you can go ahead and use that. And you're not necessarily supposed to get a kill, but it makes them rotate so you can rotate freely. So you use it as a utility, not for a kill. If you snipe someone or you get gun someone at a distance, this will thirst the kill. Those are the main uses, in my opinion, for the precision. Same way cluster, a little bit less precise. You place it, boom. All right, cool, let's move. Let's get in the car. They're not gonna be able to look at us. I think it should be used very strategically and utility-wise, versus with this, it feels like, oh, they put it on us, we got a notification, but we don't really know if it's going to hit us or not. It's kind of adds like a layer of randomness that I don't really like in a first-person shooter where it should just be gun-on-gun action most of the time. So that's how I prefer it the other way, although you would get less kills with it, or downs rather, not kills, because it's not going to full kill someone unless they don't have a self. But realistically, I like the other uses for it, and it still dominates in those other uses for rotation and thirsting a kill. It does those great, even with the indicator. It doesn't even matter. It's a little bit more strategic, in my opinion, that way.
Okay. All right, now, boys, tell me what your guys' thoughts.
Hunter, go for it. No, you let Ebatez rip it. This.
Yeah, I think kind of, again, going off what JGOD said, I just think that PAs in general, kill streak should be used for like strategic. So like if you need a PA a roof so you can move in so they can't hold you out, or if you need to get a full kill, or you need to cut off a lane or something like that, PA should not be a way of getting like kills. Like you should not be like getting knocks just randomly off a PA, and it just kind of creates like that RNG factor of where you're like, you'll get a PA notification like here. I was trying to find the clip, so I was just like scrolling it now. But there was a clip when I was playing with noobs, and he was like 40 meters away from me. He got a PA notification, and I also got like a PA notification. He ran like all the way to me, and he still got hit by it. And he's like, how the fuck did that hit me? Like I literally just ran like 30 meters. It's because you can't predict the way that PAs come in either. So it's like you're kind of just hoping like, yo, I hope I went the right way.
You can. The A10s on the map, you can see them, what direction they're coming in from.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, instantaneously in the moment, yes, you can see them, but you cannot see both and react.
By the time you see, I was gonna say, by the time you see, can you move?
You will also see it on like kind of like a circle, on like a circle axis, because since it's so far out of the map, you'll see it like kind of go like left to right a little bit. Like it won't just go like directly where it is coming from. Like it'll be on like that circle axis because it's kind of so far on the map. It's kind of like a UAV when you pop. It's like so far away that it'll kind of be on that circle axis, but. Yeah, you should not be getting kills, in my opinion, with PAs. I think that's just ridiculous. So, in my opinion,
I have a good take on this.
I think the way to fix this is you speed up how fast PAs come in, so that you can make it so where if there is a notification, okay, PAs are coming in a little bit quicker, so they're a little bit more useful. Because right now, I do agree it is pretty easy to dodge them. However, I feel like they should be used to be clearing areas and also like playing for an advantage rather than just be like getting kills. Like you should, like, it's the same thing that I argue with like lethal spam. You should not be just getting knocks with lethals. You should be having to like shoot your gun, then use the lethal to get a full kill, or use it for space or use it to crack somebody, not just to like get a knock. So that's kind of my take on it.
Okay. Hunter, go ahead.
Well, I'll add one point, just a side note, because chat's like, well, if it doesn't do that, then what's the point? We just broke down the bullet points of what the point is. if you're not paying attention to those or you disagree, that's a different story. But realistically, it still has tons of value, even if it's highlighted. Like you would still use a PA. Like it still has tons of utility. It just is not going to get you random ass kills for people that don't know where it's going to hit because the notification didn't go off because it wasn't within the 5 meter range that it needed to be. So I don't know, but Hunter, I'm sure he has different opinion on it.
Talk to me.
So if we're going back to the original Warzone, that means you're not gonna be able to spam by kill streaks. Like right now, you could spam by kill streaks. The chests are gonna be different, so you're not gonna be getting kill streaks out of every chest. Kind of like now, you can open a blue chest and get a cluster strike, get a precision. I like the no notification because it creates its own gameplay moment of you're feeling emotion of, oh fuck, there's a precision coming in, and everybody's got to get to cover. And also, I'd liked back then when you would see a vehicle coming in and you'd pre-call the precision airstrike in hopes that they would drive right into it. And
you
also
could still do that. Just no one drives the fucking vehicle.
Well, also people see on the map, they're going to dodge it.
No. If you're driving in a vehicle, you can still pre-precision, and it will not highlight on their map a distance away.
Really? Okay,
yes,
well, that's good.
But no one uses vehicles, so it's just not part of the gameplay loop anymore. And that's part of the reason people don't post it, because literally no one's in a vehicle. They just take a balloon.
Well, they also just don't feel as lethal now because you guys are saying to clear areas out so people move and stuff. It's when you can see where it's coming from, and you're like, let's say you're holding a roof and you see precision, and you see the icon, you're like, oh, let me just move 10 feet this way. I'll be all right. And now it's like you just see the icon, you're like, oh shit, I gotta just get off the roof in general. And they don't feel as powerful now. You don't feel anything from getting them. You just get a precision, and you're like, okay, I have a precision. They actually meant something back then. I know you guys think I'm tweaking, but they meant way more back then.
No, I agree. So look, here, look. I'll be like, I think I have a pretty decent take on this. I think right now PAs are useless as fuck. And I do think that that's an issue. Now, here's the way they can choose to go about it, right? The issue is PAs mean nothing. Right now, you get PA'd, yeah, sure, it'll get you out, but you know where it's going, you know where it's coming from, you know the outline. If you stay outside of the white, you're fine. They've become useless. So now they have a choice. How do we fix that? How do we make them not as fucking or not as useless? You have two options. You get rid of the nodie completely, or in my opinion, you keep the nodie, that angle, but do you guys, I said this in the last podcast, do you remember how they were bugged in season maybe 4 of that Modern Warfare 3? They came in incredibly fast. So
oh yeah, I remember that.
If you were tunnel vision, you're fucked. You were getting the death. Like, in my opinion, I think that would have been the better fix to this solution, would be keep it, but just make the PA come in faster. Like, that's it. This, I do agree. Hunter, I can see where you're coming from, where it does create like now they're like, oh fuck, you don't know where that shit's coming from.
It creates its own moment in the game. And there's not that many kill streaks. There's 2.
So you're saying they're useless? You don't think people use them for rotation and to down a thirst to kill?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's
like literally thirsting to kill and rotation.
The impact is not as much as you're making it out to be. I don't think that that impact is that big of a difference. If people are
randomly precisioning you and aren't rotating and haven't downed you first, they're dumbasses for using the precision.
Like, it's not that big of a zone isolation, especially like from what we've seen. Yeah, I get what you're saying, like, bro, like, but one,
clusters are better right now.
Yeah, clusters are a better zoning tactic. That's why I'm saying
clusters were good too. Yeah, of course.
And even right now, even if you res faster than the airstrike comes in. So getting a full kill is like, I'm telling you right now, airstrikes are not as good. Like, they're not that great.
They're horrible. I take clusters over precisions every time.
They do need a buff.
Well, that's because clusters also got buffed. Clusters are way better now than they were before.
But the precision costs more. They're supposed to be better, but they're terrible.
Yeah, they could do it.
Well, those are differences we could agree on. That I could agree on.
Like, I just think that this is like these. If there was a slider between right now, like they're dog shit right now, I feel like, and on this completely opposite end of the scale, when you take off that nodie, it's like, oh fuck, like it can be anywhere within this radius, right? Like, so you got to get to cover. So like they buff them a lot more. If you were to just speed up the speed at which they call them in, I think that would be somewhere in the middle of like them being actually viable now. Just my opinion on that, based off what I've seen from watching the gameplay all the time.
I don't know. We had one of the most like iconic clips from World Series of Warzone, and it not popping up was an issue.
Oh,
Which one would it
oh
be?
my gosh, bro! The LCQ game where they were where Blastus PA or whoever's it was on the dock in Warzone 2.
Oh,
and they're like,
yeah, that was fucking insane. That one was fucking
he got
nuts,
like
bro.
7. He got like 7 knocks with his PA.
Yeah. Regardless with that zone, that shit, you're killing fucking hella people with that one.
Yeah, dude, I did some digging. I had a clip of noobs. It was a perfect example. I just can't find.
People know
I
the
can't
clip because
find
that's
it,
how
man.
bad the precision functioned when it shouldn't, because it didn't work as you would expect. Because they all rotated and they all moved away from the indication zone, but they all got fucked.
Right. I had a perfect example. If I find it, I'll have to send it to you guys later. But it's all good.
Oh yeah, this is the one that, again, I think a lot of people, even in the chat, some disagree, some agree. It's pretty split down the middle for this one. Now, crowded airspace notification. The airspace 2 crowded message will now appear when a player attempts to pick up or aim down sight with a kill streak in an area where too many aerial kill streaks are currently active. So the only difference here, right? I think right now you get that noti whenever you let's say you go like this and then you actually click it, right? You actually click R1 or R2, then it gives you the noti. I guess right now it tells you if you're trying to aim down sight, it'll stop you and it'll say airspace 2 crowded.
Yeah, right now it's bad because if you're relying on it in a certain moment and then you go to click it and it doesn't let you, it's kind of annoying right now.
Yeah, it's just letting you know sooner in the animation, basically.
Yeah, way better.
It says that this removes uncertainty about kill streak usability upon looting. So not bad, not a bad change. Let's see how it plays out. Perks. This is one of the things. Yes, it's OG, but I hope they bring it back one day. Is lootable perks.
No.
All lootable perks have been removed from Battle Royale and will return to classic feeling of Verdansk. These may return in a future update depending on feedback. I love lootable perks. It's not OG, but again, I love it.
They're so overpowered.
Yo,
Yep.
I found the clip. I'll send it in the group chat. I found the clip.
Okay.
I think they're
with the
overpowered
noobs, right?
because
The
right
noobs?
now,
Yes.
I think the lootable perk thing is overpowered because quick fix. You can pick it up, so it's like there's no point in even running it because you find it every single game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a more balancing issue. I mean, again,
Well, it's
my
like, what's the
opinion,
point
I
of
like
having
them.
your own perks then? What's the point of customizing your perks if you can just grab them all?
I mean, that's not all. It's only like 3.
Well, like, you get what I
I'm
mean?
saying?
Like, what's the point of having custom perks if you can just pick them up off
I think
rip?
it's a
guess
balance. There are perks that are different than others in the rarity. I think it's really hard to balance because you either have to make all the perks useless, so that it's like incremental gains, or if they're good, then it feels like you're running specialist. So
Yeah, and it makes
I
specialists
think
less
it's-
important too.
yeah. It's like, I agree with that completely. But it'd be like one of those things where you're like, oh shit, I got tempered. Like, that's a W. Like, there are some that do like impact the game in the right way, but it's just simpler to not have them. Less loot on the ground.
You guys,
Yeah,
think
when you
they
got
Even though I
should-
like
specialists,
them.
it feels way better.
I like some of them for sure.
Yeah, me
you guys,
too.
I guess 2 opposite ends of the spectrum here. Would you guys rather have them have perks that are like very rare that you get little perks, but they're ones that actually make a big impactful like thing, like for example, tempered, like anything that's actually viable, ghost, whatever the fuck, right? Or would you rather have them be the complete opposite, where it's like, hey, it's a bunch of they're on the ground, they're kind of like the lesser ones, like for example, the ones that give you smoke, the ones that help you revive faster, the ones that aren't as impactful. Would you guys rather? Or I guess you could.
I just rather not have them. Like
ability.
the smoke one, the shrouded one, it makes the game more frustrating when you get a knock and then there's smoke
Yes.
everywhere and they just get up.
Yes,
I
I
hate
agree.
that shit.
But like irradiated, for example, I think it's nice to like just pick up an irradiated randomly, and you're like, oh, I do have irradiated, and it's just kind of like a nice little bonus. Like as long as it's not like OP. But I do agree the shrouded one.
But I think it's
was
too
pretty
hard to
busted.
balance. I think it's too hard to balance because any perk that you'd want on the floor would have to essentially be trash, because otherwise you would just use it in your loadout. And then
because right now
it
you
can
get
be
good
found on the
ones.
ground, then you wouldn't. I don't know. It's really a wonky system. I really think instead of having that, there just needs to be more choice behind your actual creative class. That's a whole other topic. I think the creative class is really lacking in the perk department because most of the people are going to lean towards 1, 2, like maybe 1 or 2 perks in perk 1, 1 or 2 in perk 2, even though there's 5 perks, and Warzone's always had this problem. That's why we all ran Amped as our 3rd perk in Warzone 1. Overkill was the main perk that we ran, and a lot of people either ran double time or whatever the hell you were going to run in your first perk, restock, I don't remember now. But like realistically, there's going to be a meta, but it should be really hard where we could actually argue about what perks we're using versus now we could agree on the 1 or 2 perks per category.
Yeah, because right now you have quick fix on the ground.
You would struggle to find people that are arguing for a perk that isn't currently part of the meta niche, right? Oh, you got to run cold-blooded because everyone's running a thermal. And like you can't even really do that right now. Like it just isn't the way the game is, unfortunately.
Bro,
but that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic.
Can they fucking fix quick fix though? Like not being able to cancel the animation like you can regularly with it, like literally gets me killed all the fucking time. Like, and
I feel like it's a trade-off, isn't it? Because you can shoot while plating.
I mean, but why? But why not be able
It's
to cancel the animation?
If you get quick, that's kind of overpowered. If you can cancel an animation while you're still able to shoot.
No, it's just when you cancel an animation, you can't shoot. When you cancel an animation,
you can shoot while using quick fix, can't you?
No, I'm saying whenever you cancel it, you can't shoot no more. It's just canceling the plate.
But
you have to wait for the
hand.
gun. Yeah, you have to wait for it to come all the way down before you can use it again. Yeah.
Because you're switching guns, like when you cancel the animation, or you're punching, which means theoretically you cannot shoot no more. So like I don't know. I
think quick fix pretty good. If you get off rip,
I fucking hate that shit.
You're doing good off rip if you get it.
Bro, am I faded? I'm pretty sure they fixed it. I'm pretty sure they fixed that. And then in one of the updates, they reverted it. I swear to God, it's like the fucking Lockwood
I don't know.
shotgun.
I never used it since it was broken.
Well, the thing
It's
with
like
quick
the
fix too
Lockwood
that's kind of
fucking
overpowered is sometimes you can't tell if the person you're fighting is healing if they have it. It's kind of hard to tell if there's a bunch of movement and they're shooting and they're running out the gun in their hand. You can't tell that they're plating up. So it's got a lot of good stuff going for it. Someone said I'm a bot in the chat. I'm the one that uses this shit. That's why I see it from the other side. Like I'm the guy using it. I have a 6 KD on Big Map. Like I know how to play the game. That's why I understand it better.
6 KD's bot.
Yeah,
gotta be 8, like like the big dogs. Imagine. Chat's funny sometimes.
I love chat, man. Y'all fucking. I love you guys. What's this? All right, let me see.
Yeah, watch this.
Oh, I
so
love
this is the no PA thing.
Run, motherfuckers!
Yeah, I got PA.
We got PA. One left. There's one over here.
How did that just hit me?
Look how far he ran.
Wait, look, you can see where it's going. Hold on. You said you can't see where it's coming from. You can. You can see exactly where it's coming from.
This one might
Look
be
at it.
Hashtag time in. I'm not gonna lie. Look
Watch.
at the PA. You can see it.
You can see it. You can see it. No, you can see it coming in.
That just hit me.
Do you see how far he ran?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I agree with Hunter here in this specific scenario because you see the PA coming and watch. I'll tell you when to pause it, JD. Pause. Right
Yeah, that's
there,
when it started to turn in. That's where it started to come in. It turns in.
If you hashtag,
No, you guys are trolling.
Are bugging. You guys are trolling.
Look, you can see the
April
first one.
1st,
It's all. Look at the second one.
April Fools.
No, you
Yo,
can
real
see
quick,
it.
guys. Yo, good. They got us. Hey, JGOD, 0 out of 10 rage bait. They got us, bro. They got us.
Yeah,
They actually
that's
got
like
us.
hindsight's 2020. What you really
Yeah.
should have done is we should have known beforehand for them to draw the line that it's gonna hit, and then
According to my
show them
calculations,
that it
it's
doesn't
coming in
line
at
up.
182 north. Be careful. You gotta
Yeah,
rotate
no.
to
What's
the
the
east
point of
side.
using it then? What's the point of using it then? They're just gonna be able to. Oh, okay. We don't have
Did you
to
see
move.
his ass
point of using a
rotate?
PA
And he was
Bro,
exposed.
look at how far. Yeah, bro. Well, according to the way it's coming in, actually, the angle, you're gonna have to rotate west here. Like, no, bro, no way we're actually talking about that. That is insane.
keep the line, speed up the PAs. There it is. Keep
He
the
still
line,
would have
speed up
moved.
the
He
PAs.
still would have moved. Even with the
Yeah.
outline, he still would have moved. 100% he still would have moved.
Shit, man.
It's just he probably wouldn't have been downed, but in the rotation, he would have been in a worse spot. I don't know. I think having to rotate anyways, you still got to rotate. I don't know.
Nah, he actually ran like 40 meters there. No troll.
All right.
That's a fucked up clip, huh?
New weapons coming, fellas. New weapons coming. We got the HDR, which has been confirmed that they will. Oh shit! I thought it was HDR. That fuck it. I mean, the HDR will one shot at any range. It'll one shot at any fucking range if you hit the head. Be prepared. We are about to get one shotted across the fucking map, and I'm actually kind of.
Well, it has lower velocity though, so it's not as insane.
As like you're saying, as OG.
Like OG was almost hit scan.
Shit. Look, man, I'm an avid sniper hater, but if one shot sniping from any distance caters to the casuals, fuck it, man. If that makes the majority of people
I
happy.
wish it would more guns though. I wish it wasn't just the HDR. Because again, we're still on that loop where Black Ops Cold War, majority of the snipers were useless, and we're at that loop again where majority of the Black Ops snipers are useless. I wish they would just make all the snipers one shot.
Bro,
But
this is
sure,
the
Yeah,
bullet
that
velocity.
CDL Champs bundle was legit one of the few pay-to-win bundles there was in the game.
Wait, what was that one? Was it the
So
scope?
what happens is when you scope, instead of the blacked out edges of your screen, you could actually see peripheral.
Yeah,
It was
I remember that.
crazy.
Yeah. So look, man, I think this is gonna people who want to snipe, they're gonna be able to snipe. They're gonna be able to go fucking rogue. We might see a fucking 3,000 meter snipe. Who fucking knows? All right, one shot to the head at any fucking distance. So we'll see how that plays out.
People are
It's
gonna be up
probably
on
gonna
prison
insane.
chilling.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane. Scroll up. Now, sorry, we're in a little bit in reverse. The kilo, go up probably to the right there. Boom. So
Okay.
the kilo has come back.
So to clarify with these are all available tomorrow
Yes.
for everybody.
April 2nd. Because it's
Free to
gonna be uploaded
play?
today.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yes.
today, then.
The second, all of these are available. You just log into Warzone for this one. The other two are in the battle pass. And then you won't be able to get the Cali sticks or the Growl conversion kit until after the season gets started. So those 3 guns you'll be able to get, level, unlock, whatever, completely free to play.
Which these count as Black Ops 6 guns, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
Yep.
can use them in BO6.
Just the milsim operators you can't use in Black Ops 6. That's the only thing out of everything you can't use in Black Ops 6.
Okay. All right. So this one, you automatically get this gun when you log in. The kilo, they give it to you right away.
You have to go to the Warzone screen.
Yes, click the Warzone thing and it gives it to you free. Yes, multiplayer is free tomorrow for 24 hours in multiplayer. So
I think it's
everybody-
specific modes, but yeah.
Okay. Then AMAX, fellas, the AMAX is returning. This is my baby. I love this thing. And again, you can Battle Pass, I'm assuming, is available tomorrow, so you can level this up all day and shit like that, so you can be ready for Thursday. I'm gonna need hashtag somebody time in, JD. Anyways, so let's go down.
Wait, there was something interesting about the AMAX.
What's up?
Can we pull up the bundles they're adding? There's something interesting about this.
Oh, you saw the
Be able to
VOK.
pull- Yeah, there was a VLK on an AMAX in the anime bundle.
Somebody tagged me in it. I don't know exactly like where it is, but chat.
If you go to
I
Charlie Intel, he posted the bundles, and you can see the anime one. I'm pretty sure. Here, let me double check.
It
'Cause-
looked like the VOK. It looked like it.
Yeah, and there's no site that looks anywhere near that. There's pretty limited sites. I'm gonna try to find it real quick.
Yeah, VOK. I mean, bro, VOK 3X with the commando. Ooh, shit. You think they'll actually do
I'd
it?
hope. Okay. I'm gonna send it to the Pullze Check Twitter. I found the post. I was talking about.
It could just be a variation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could just be a what's the 3X that we have
Doesn't
now?
look like a variation.
No,
though.
that's what I'm
Willis?
saying. It could be
The
the
Willis?
Willis, but
But
just
it's-
changes the way it looks because it's a blueprint. Does that make sense? The
But
same
it
how-
looks completely different though. It's not even like a blueprint look. It just has a different complete shape.
Yeah, that's why. Like, that's what blueprint things do. They change the shape.
No,
of it
but
all.
like the whole design is different. It's not just it's the whole it looks so different. It looks
Have you
like
not seen the
VLK.
fucking unicorn silencer? Like, it looks different than a regular silencer. You know what I'm saying?
But like it's still a silencer though. Like there's only a silencer. You know?
yeah, but I'm
there's
just
just
saying.
a
I
silencer.
don't think it's drastic or too far off to think that they would change like VLK the way it looks for a blueprint. At least I personally
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't know. You never know. Did you get it, JD? There it is. It's like scroll down.
Are we able
Yeah,
to
right
flip
there.
it?
Oh, the conversion kit, the Growl is in the battle pass too. For some reason I thought that was in an event.
Yeah, that's off rip.
Shit. Wow,
Yeah, if you look at it, it doesn't look like there's no scope that has any of those details like that or ergonomic design.
So you think they'll just bring it back with the AMAX?
I don't know, but it looks like it. It looks like the VLK.
Okay. Wait, by the way, that's a fucking controller, bro. That's an AMAX with a controller. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's got like a
Alright.
GPU fan on the
The
back.
screen on the side, yeah. And a GPU fan, yeah.
Has joysticks and everything,
And
bro.
then what's that grip? Is that just a grip we have now?
That looks like the Commando no troll.
Do we have a grip that looks like that right now?
I think there's one that's similar, yeah.
Hey, maybe they have completely different fucking optics. I mean, is it far-fetched to say that they'll release attachments for guns?
No. They remember we already talked about this too. If the AMAX or the Kilo have the optic, it'll be universal across all rifles. It'll get added that way because each of the rifles, as you level them currently in the game, the BO6 weapons, the optics are universal.
Someone said we only have vertical grips. I mean, we don't have an angle grip.
So maybe they are adding a completely new one.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. JD,
That's what I was saying. I was like, that. I was gonna say that doesn't like nothing about that looked
look the same.
Black Ops 6.
All right. So next we got Cali sticks, fellas. They changed this, right, Hunter? It was
Yeah, it's a 2.
kill.
It was
I was
2, and
like,
now it's
what?
4.
It was a
Yeah,
2
I thought that was
kill,
gonna
but
be
then they changed
broken.
it.
That would have been
So-
funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie. They just did
Oh
it.
hell
did
no! I'd
it.
be checked.
I mean, they still
Yo,
could be
so-
good though. If they're fast, they could still be good.
Extremely fast stack speed, short range Cali sticks. We've seen this, right? Then scroll down. Conversion kits, JGOD, good question. It is Battle Pass,
Yeah, it's
page
Battle
5.
Pass, yeah.
So it pretty much converts the SWAT 556
Damn,
into
the
a growl.
suppressor's on page 7. Sheesh.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh,
The
I see what
monolithic?
you mean.
Page 7 of the Battle Pass.
So it's much
Yeah.
further into the Battle Pass.
Oh, shit. All right, so it says it equips a new default barrel and magazine and unlocks an exclusive 50-round extended mag. Blocks barrel attachments. So somebody was saying that it blocks muzzles. No, you will still be able to use mono on this. It'll just block the barrel itself because the actual conversion
It's
kit is
giving
the
you
barrel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
giving
And
you
to
the
be
barrel.
clear, it's the barrel that has the good iron sights. I see a lot of people worried about that, even though there's literally a video of it. It is the Archangel barrel with the iron sights that everyone loves. For anyone
It's the
that's
skin
freaking out about
penis.
And it
Yeah.
it doubles with it's a 2 attach, so you get like a free attachment too, because
that.
you're
Yep,
getting
you
the
get the
barrel
50
and the magazine.
Ooh. You get a barrel and the magazine, so you can like really like deck it
Yeah,
out
you can
without
put
the
bullet
wild card.
velocity on. Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
shit!
Fellas, I don't think it does. I don't think it gives it to you with the actual conversion kit. It says unlocks. Like, so I think you're still gonna have to
Oh.
waste an attachment on the
Okay,
on the
yeah,
mag.
you're right.
The new
it
default
just-
barrel and magazine. It's,
Yeah,
it's a
equips
new
any barrel-
default barrel and magazine.
Oh, you know what? Maybe yeah.
Maybe the wording's bad, and maybe that is an attachment. That is weird.
Wait, dude, if that's the case, if it gives you a fucking barrel and a mag, this shit about to be broken as fuck. Yo, if they give you both,
I don't think they
yo,
will.
No, I don't think
That-
so. Maybe not. I don't know. The
Yo,
wording
that
does
would be
suck,
actually
for sure.
insane.
I mean, maybe it gives you like a magazine that's just like a 30 round, like a new magazine, but it's not the 50 round.
Well, with the faster TTKs, the 50 will probably be enough.
Yeah.
okay. All right. All right, so next one, we got new attachments, the mono suppressor. So monolithic core provides superior sound suppression and increased range. Moderate weight increase affects agility. What exactly that's gonna affect, I don't know. The ideal attachment for extending your damage range on big maps like Verdansk while retaining the concealment provided by a suppressor. So this one is, it's not working the way it used to. It used to be increased range and bullet velocity. Now, it's only increased range. Obviously, the sound suppression and shit, right? But yeah. And then I believe one other one gave you better recoil, but I don't think it was the OG mono.
No. It was the Cold War one.
There you go. That
Agency.
one.
Agency?
Agency. That one
think
gave you
so.
some fucking twisted shit.
Yep.
So not increased bullet velocity. I wonder if their goal is to have not as crazy bullet velocity as it was back in the day, because I will say back in the day, bullet velocity was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's their goal, to just make the engagements not as crazy as you could, because you could map people across the map back in the day, especially with the time to kill. All Okay, so let's go down. So we got general adjustments. Default loadouts available via loadout crates during a match have been updated with more competitive options. So this is we call this the JGOD setting. This setting, we have updated the default. This season, we have updated the default loadouts with a new selection of weapons and equipment. Our goal is to provide viable options that cater to both new and returning players. To ensure these loadouts remain competitive, we are committed to make frequent adjustments. So long story short, if you are a new player coming back after a while, the default loadouts are now viable. You know, they're actually going to be good. And so they said if they're not as good, they'll make adjustments. Again, we call them the JGOD loadouts. So shout out my boy JGOD. We'll be having some good loadouts for anybody who hasn't leveled up their shit, right?
Yeah, and some people are upset about that because like, oh, I grind it, dude. You can still customize the gun how you want, put camos on it, customize it. People that come back should not be held back because they didn't sit there and play the game 24/7. This is a great change. It won't affect you. I promise if you were mad about this, you're going to be all right.
Okay. All right. Now this next one. I'm going to let JGOD take over this one because, you know, when I was reading the patch notes, I didn't really realize how much of an impact it was going to make until we actually saw time to kill charts, et cetera, right? So, fellas, they have changed the time to kill pretty much.
Well, they did kind of a weird thing where they buffed a lot of these guns, but they nerfed the ranges. So it'll be a little bit hard to really know exactly where things fall, but there's significant damage improvements. So you can see for the AK, within its first damage range up to 43 meters now, 45 damage up from 36. Like an extra 9 damage is kind of a lot, right? That's 25% increase the damage. But then the next damage drop off, not nearly as much, only 2. And the same thing with the minimum. Keeping in mind that these will change even more with the headshot multiplier, depending on what it is per gun. So if you go down a little bit lower, it might have the multiplier on the AK. I think they nerfed the bullet velocity by like 10 meters per second or something. And then if you scroll a little bit lower, JD. So right there, up on the bottom of the right there. So it says headshot multiplier increased. So it went from 1.07. So the damage increase isn't only 9, it's 9 and then plus that 13% multiplier that gets added to it. The lower torso and the legs and all that got also improved. So its overall damage profile will be higher as average as well. So like for the AK, I think, let me see if I have the number here. So the AK, that should make it like one less shot to kill its furthest range. But up close, it could be killing way faster.
Right.
So maybe like if it's floor loot, it's viable in a close range engagement. But like it can significant TTKs that are going to be much faster.
Do you think they're trying to go back to the time when Warzone you could use an AR as an SMG?
I don't know. I'd have to see what the actual TTKs are up point blank, because the long range TTKs are one thing, and then the close range SMG still should be better because the ADS speeds, the sprint to fire, all those other mobility stats that go with it.
Okay.
But just that number, we just went through one, but they modified like 40 guns. But that's just more of an example of that one specific one. Even though they nerfed the range, most of our ranges are going to be within about 40 to 50 meters anyways. Plus, when you stack on a barrel, it's going to push out that range anyways, because that's normally what we do when we equip our attachments. A barrel, muzzle, and then whatever else you want on the gun. So it'll be kind of interesting how it plays out. And it lowers the skill gap a little bit. Yeah. Because you need to land less shots to kill. And although good players will be easier for them to 1v3, it'll be much more likely if somebody's just in a corner and you happen to go through a building, you didn't know they were there, they can shoot you in the back and you're much more likely to die from that because the TTK will be less shots to kill. So it's kind of a double edge where it'll be easier to wipe bad players, but it'll also be easier to die to bad players.
Which is how it was in OG, right? I believe that the reason they did this is for the sole sake of, back then we had slower or faster time to kill. Like, instead of, I guess, assuming that they didn't want to do 300 health, right? They just buffed every fucking gun, which is exactly what they did. We're not going to go over every single gun, right? But they did buff practically every fucking gun.
The interesting part, though, that they don't mention anywhere in here is like a flat bullet velocity increase or recoil changes or visual shake, even though there are like line items of like that one says reduce visual recoil, so there's a couple in there. But in general, it's not blanket things to solve some of those issues that I think these guns are going to struggle with, where the HDR will be kind of broken because you won't be able to challenge someone at 100 meters if they have a sniper and they're good.
Yeah, look, this shit, like, we don't have to go over everything, JD, but I mean, what's y'all's take on this? Are you guys, and chat as well, W or L, do you guys like the kind of faster time to kill? Because like people always say it like, bro, my bullets take too long to kill somebody, right? But I think maybe this is a server issue, but people always say, yo, it takes too long to kill somebody, but then you die so fast, right? Like there's that's a two-part, thing. It does seem like the time to kill is going to be significantly faster. And so I'm just curious to see what people think about it. I mean, boys, what do you guys think?
I don't really have an opinion. I have to wait and play it because they're changing the entire game basically, so it's not easy to say.
I feel like
what are they doing to shotguns?
Time went on, I feel like as time went on, players just got better. So I feel like TTK naturally just has to go up or get slower. But I mean, dude, I mean, it just depends. I'm kind of with Hunter there. It's like we have to play it, but I don't feel like it's good, but we'll have to see.
Okay. All right. So, guys,
can you click on the shotguns real quick?
Yeah, I'm curious if they did anything with those. What did they do?
Buff the range. That was it?
That's it? The way you scroll down, did they just buff the range? Oh, yeah. Buff the range. What else did they do?
Reduce view kick, slugs, reduce screen shake when firing. And go ahead and go a little bit lower for the next gun.
Range. Damage.
That's negligible. But that further damage is kind of weird.
Yeah, what about I think launchers? What about pistols? What do they do with the pistols? I'm kind of curious about the more like off weapons.
Okay, so this is actually interesting. Holy shit, that's crazy.
So
yeah, you ain't shooting nobody out the sky, dog.
I told you guys this gun was gonna be trash.
Oh, but look at the headshot multiplier.
Oh, bro, what the fuck are they doing? The range for this went from 0.6 to 25 meters.
6.3.
6, sorry.
To 25
the
meters.
minimum damage is trash too. Oh my god. This is gonna be the one we land in with. This is gonna be the one we land with.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, headshots are gonna be everything, bro. Headshot multiplier from a 1.2 to a 2.5.
Well, but even 2.5, what would that be? Like 50 plus 12? You're talking about 60, something like that. 62 would be a headshot from a 25. Yeah, you're not shooting anyone out of the sky, bro.
Look. Upper torso is 1x to 2.
It's like 12 shots to kill.
I don't know if I like this.
Wait, let's see the other pistols. What do the pistols got going on?
Better be accurate.
Oh shit!
Why would they nerfed the pistol is already trash and they buffed the ones that are already good. I'm not understanding this one.
Well, these are for the Gulag probably.
Oh my god! Look at the G45. That one's worse.
That one got gutted, but the range got increased.
Look at the headshot multiplier.
3. Oh my god.
1.2 to 3.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Like that?
Wait, what about the Strider? The Strider's different. It's like a 20-round mag.
Those TTKs are gonna be like wild. If
this one's gonna be no damage,
instant delete.
This one's gonna be good.
Like, you know how random headshots are?
1 point, and then even the upper torso and arm 1 point to 1.5.
But this pistol's actually already good. Like this is like a reliable pistol. So I'm like,
not anymore.
No, it's still gonna be way better than the other ones though. Look at the damage decrease.
It'll be better. It'll be better for sure.
It's only 6 down on the maximum, and it shoots fast.
Yeah,
I don't know. That headshot multiplier is weird.
Wait, hold on. We gotta look at the other ones now.
Just like...
What about scroll up? What about like the light machine guns? Because those are pretty trash.
SMGs.
Minor buff.
Yeah. This thing is already trash. I'm surprised they nerfed the range on that last one.
Yep.
Wait, what does that mean right there? Up and down?
These ones are alright.
Range 1, why is it going like up and down?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like it has both up and down.
Well, because the previous damage drop off was buffed, and then the farthest damage drop off was nerfed. So they like compressed it because it's on both sides.
Yeah. Okay.
XMG is pretty good. What about that one? Okay, they didn't really.
They just nerfed the range, and the up close is a little bit more damage, and then they added a new damage drop off to the middle.
And then what about the marksman rifles?
I think the car is the only one that's really like important that got buffed.
Well, what about the SWAT? I feel like that's going to be important, right? Or does conversion kit just completely deteriorate?
It'll completely change the fire rate and the damage.
Okay.
It did get buffed though. The range.
Another
45.
Okay. The foul.
Yeah, I feel like some
wish
some
this was
things are gonna be
better.
broken when it comes out.
This one
said
is
the
terrible. That
DM10.
one. Oh, Carnage K. Okay. So they
buffed the
buffed that
car.
one. Okay. And then what about the? I think the launchers. They just buffed them to be the Modern Warfare 2 ones for the launchers. Go to launchers. Yeah, they just made them the Modern Warfare 2 damage.
250. Yeah.
But they also did buff the RPG itself.
How?
You'll see.
Oh, this guy.
The
blast radius, and then they added you got a middle explosion in the outside.
Yeah, and then the special weapon, the SMG, like the SMG pistol we have right now on the special, it's at the bottom.
Yep.
For Black Ops 6. What did they do to that one?
Chat saying TR2 ammo. Oh, this pistol's gonna be fucking.
Yeah, that one's gonna cook.
Yeah, this pistol's
Okay.
fucking.
And then now we get into the vehicles.
Oh, but they nerfed the multiplier, so you got to hit headshots.
The pistols was
Yeah.
the most interesting change. That's like the craziest one.
That's so backwards, huh?
Yeah. So you think it's gonna be that hard to fucking get a kill out the air now?
I
Yeah,
think
oh,
so. 100%. Unless you're
Eight-round
aimbotting,
mag.
bro, there's no way. Remember I brought this up last time because it's gonna be like an 8-round mag. You're gonna have to team shoot,
Go back down,
and
Jimmy. Go
even
back down.
then, team shooting's gonna be hard
there.
to get the kill.
TRT. Up. One more.
Yeah, they're
Right.
just saying it's
Right there.
AR ammo.
Oh, that's actually a huge change
Oh.
because
Yeah.
it sucks right now. It sucks.
The
You have
foul?
no
Yeah.
ammo using that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. Cool. Now let's go down to vehicles because I know JGOD, you got 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, approximately. Yep.
Okay. Let's try to keep cooking. So we got the classic vehicles back. We got the heli, cargo truck, Polaris, LTV, and ATV. Let's go down and they'll say the adjustments. I don't think they actually
They got
give
rid of
us
the dirt
exact
bikes,
adjustments.
the boat cars are gone. Dirt bikes they just added, but get them out. They're terrible.
Pretty much, long story short, they said they're not one-to-one with OG, but they try to make them as close as possible when it comes to like how they actually move, their maneuverability, their speeds, et cetera, et cetera. Again, they have to make these good because this is gonna be the only way we move around the map, right? Then we got vehicle vulnerability, and Hunter, you kind of touched on this before, right? Talk to me on this.
I mean, C4s are gonna one-shot everything but the cargo trucks. That'll be 2, which is cool. And then rocket launchers. It says 1 to 2, so I wonder if there's certain ones that might one-shot the LTVs and the
Yeah,
bugs.
well, because the
RPG.
one does 300 damage versus 250.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
And,
then
also wait, we also know that vehicles are not gonna disable and roll anymore. They just instantly blow up.
actually blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated the disabled vehicle thing. It was stupid.
Yeah, because then you wouldn't die from it. Now
You would
won't
literally just
die from that
roll
shit.
and go, okay, we're about to blow up, get out, and you're good. That's stupid. I like the immediate the immediate threat of being able to get rid of a vehicle, and I like that trophy systems are going to be a big play for throwing them on vehicles again because no one really does that now.
How crazy do you think that the thermite shit's gonna be? Like 10 ticks? I don't know how fast that does it tick.
I don't know,
You
but
just
they
throw
did
2
say
of
that
them, it'll be
thermites
pretty quick.
don't kill people now. They did change the wording on that. The thermites actually don't kill you. Like
Yeah,
if you
we
get
saw
stuck by
that.
one. It just says near. Well, they changed the wording on it. It was like near death experience now or something.
Okay. All right, scroll down. The pinging near vehicles, as you guys know, sometimes whenever you're pinging just anything in general, it snaps to like the loadout. They fixed it to where it doesn't snap to vehicles. Then the classic
I don't know
UI.
about fixed.
Yeah, let's not say fixed. You're right. Classic Warzone victory screen. That's the OG shit that you guys know and love. When it comes to the UI, when the actual minimap, if we scroll down, same shit as
love
well.
that.
It's all OGs. The tack map, the compass icons, those are all OGs.
colors.
See the player icons too? They look pretty
Yeah,
good.
way better. The color palette
Yes.
is way easier to read on here now versus
Yeah,
what we have
yeah.
now.
Then ping
I wonder if
visuals.
they fixed. I wonder if they fixed kill cams and like spectating. So if you die, you can actually see the kill cam and stuff. They didn't mention
you know
it.
they probably didn't. The ping visual. So the ping shape has been inverted from the triangle shape to a lollipop shape that featured in the classic Verdansk. The go-to pings now also have classic visuals, improving legibility. So this is pretty much the OG one that we had before.
Yeah, the problem with the triangle one is it was visually harder to see sometimes, depending on what the backdrop color was. That was super annoying.
I like this next one, which I know people probably don't care as much, but I personally am really happy. Standard score vents now appear yellow for that classic look. Whenever you get a knock, I like that you're going to be able to actually see it in yellow. I feel like that gives me that OG vibe.
Well, not only that, the map's got a lot of white and a lot of like no color, so the yellow stands out a lot better.
Yep.
Even right now, I feel like I sometimes lose track of what I'm looking at or what happens with it being white.
Yeah, everything's white, so it doesn't stand out at all.
I like it being yellow. The special score events are highlighted white for better distinction as well. And a couple quality of life changes, which we've kind of went over this already. Whenever you spectate a gun, you'll have all the attachments that come out. For example, you pick up a gun, a random gun, and you die to somebody, right? Or so you're frying out with it and you want to be like, yo, what's on this gun? You can inspect the weapon and the attachments come out, which is fucking cool.
And you can disable it for cinematics, if thumbnails, whatever, if you're one of those guys.
If you like that. Then this next one is, we went over this as well. It now tells you a death recap and pretty much why you died. It's just, I would assume it's to stop people from reporting people that are not actually cheating. Yeah. So they tell you whenever you die, it tells you if you were live pinged, if you were on a UAV, whether you had an unsuppressed weapon as well. And then they plan on expanding this into future updates. I don't know what else they're going to add, but pretty much, yeah.
We need it. We need footsteps in there.
Scroll down. What else? Yeah, so pretty much it's just to help minimize people from saying, oh,
wait, hold on. What did they say right above this? What do they say right above this about the?
What are you talking about?
They'll take feedback for it. One thing we definitely need is the footsteps. That would be huge.
Okay. Yeah, I still feel like people are still gonna look at that and be like, nah, that guy's cheating. But hey, maybe like.
Hey, the people that sit in corners think they're just not there, and you hear a little footsteps, and then you do something about it, and they say you're cheating. So I think it would help a little bit for sure.
Yeah, that shit probably is gonna be bugged. I agree. Then we have another quality of life, which it's returning. It was back in the day. Whenever you favorite your loadout, it automatically jumps to the very first one. So whenever you're in game and you grab your loadout, you immediately just have to hold square and then press X right away to get your loadout, and it's your favorite one. Mission items in squad widget. A new slot has been added to the squad widget to show each squad member's most recent mission item icon for improved coordination. A mission item refers to things like key cards or Easter egg items that may require some coordination with allies. So we don't know what this is going to look like. We don't know anything about this.
We had it. We had that in the first game, like in the bottom left.
Like, we don't know like what type of Easter eggs they're going to give us, apart from the actual key cards with like the bunkers and shit, because we know that's in redacted or whatever the fuck.
But maybe that's how they'll integrate the nuke part of it too. It'll just be part of that as the inventory.
Yeah,
they got to bring that shit back. Scroll down. Then we got dead skull icons. Pretty much made it easier to see where you last died. Navigation pings updated to provide clearer, more intuitive iconography with a design that may feel similar to veteran players. So does this mean like at the top navigation, or is this like whenever you ping something randomly the way it looks?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
There's all kinds of different pings. I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure we'll know it when we see it.
Just navigation, so you know. Player icons, minimap and tac map player icons have been enhanced to visually differentiate between talking, firing a weapon, staying quiet, and ghost perk being on or off. Okay. All right. Leaving match, same thing. Quality of life, the same shit. It just tells you, hey, are you sure you want to leave with your teammates? Ping distance text on map. It added a dark backing to pings on map to improve readability of the distance text on the map. They also added the duration setting and how long you want to keep that on, how long you want the ping to stay on whenever you ping something. Whether
that's not for player
second
pings, it's specifically to like random item pings.
Yeah. Okay. This one is going to be cool. I do think this might be meta, right? People are probably going to change this. Tac map centering option. Pretty much there's a lot of different variations. So right now, whenever you open up your map, it's going to be off. That's what it is right now. It doesn't zoom, it doesn't center. It's wherever you had it at, right? Auto zoom and center. Upon opening the map, it will auto zoom and auto center on the player each time. I feel like this one might be what people use. Maybe I'm faded, but we'll see. It's gonna zoom to where the player's at.
Auto center, I think will be the goal, like the main one.
Yep.
This one, auto center. Upon opening the map, it will auto center to the player each time. So how much it zooms in? Probably nothing at all. I wonder how that's gonna be whenever you're more in gas. Does that mean that like it auto centers, but then I don't know. These are the ones that I'm curious to see how it plays when actually playing the game.
Because you have to learn your muscle memory because you already adjust and do things like instinctively when you open up the map. So I think the auto center one will be the main one because you don't always want to zoom in.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be like the go-to.
Okay. Then we have zoom and center once, which upon opening the map, it will auto zoom and auto center on the player 1 time per match. Center once, upon opening the map, it will auto center on the player 1 time per match. So a lot of us, we're gonna have to play with this and see how it feels. We might find some fucking metas for this. Okay, scroll down.
You're setting videos.
Yeah, new setting videos right here. Audio, this is cinematic, so everything OG audio is returning. That means infill, Gulag, and exfil. The music, the announcers, they're re-recorded by original announcer Julian Stone. So, Hunter, that answered your question.
That's just the UK operator. That's like the Captain Price sounding operator.
Okay. Then hit markers are OG sounding. Armor and armor breaks are OG as well, which is fire.
I love that. I don't even know. Like I remember what the 2021 sounds like. I can hear it in my head. I can't hear the one we have now. I don't even like remember. To be honest.
Yeah, it's not. There's no. What's the word? It's not distinguishable. It's not fucking. Death's Door. Chat for those that don't know. It's like whenever you're one shot and like. The way like your screen turns like fucking gray and like red and that way that sounds. I personally hate it, but yeah, it's back. We have footstep recording. So I remember footsteps being fucking amazing back in the day. And not really, I never really complained about footsteps back then. I wonder, does this mean just the way they sound or like the actual clarity of them? So yeah, we'll see.
Footsteps sound like boots. Like it really sounded like boots were clinking against the floor.
On the floor. Yeah. Then we got loot chests, which hopefully this makes them more distinguishable, which they did say they're making some adjustments to that. I think that's an excellent thing. Buy stations as well, contracts, UI sounds, ping, splashes, and progressions. Pretty much everything OG is coming back. Now we scroll down. Occlusion and reverb. I'll be honest, I went over this. It's a bunch of fucking, I don't understand this. Probably Art is going to be able to describe this a little bit better, but yeah, they changed some stuff for the audio. Again, you're gonna have to go and figure out the way it sounds and play it and make your opinions on it because the way to describe it's a little bit.
The improved sound behavior around corners and surfaces. So like, if someone, when you learn the map, you're gonna understand if someone's running on carpet, if someone's running on wood, dirt, mud, water, all of that. It just kind of helps out, be a little bit more.
Bro, the old stairs, or if you were on metal, it used to be like dink, dink. Ding. If you're like ding, 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 like it was super loud.
So now that's one of the things that they said here, right? Like the sound modifiers, adopt a new procedural audio technology, whatever, that dynamically adjusts sounds based on gameplay elements. For example, the speed, the angle, and the elevation at which you do things, right? So footsteps and ladders. This also, like Ebatez was saying, unique tuning for Call of Duty Warzone footsteps separate from premium titles. Again, more so trying to separate the audio itself or things in general from OG.
Well, that was with MW3. You can see that. We didn't have that in Black Ops 6.
Wait, what do you mean?
They introduced that already. Like that was already a thing. And then Black Ops 6,
they just took it off in BO6? Okay. Friendly teammates' footsteps reduce from position behind the player. Footsteps loudness dynamically scales with entity speed. So I guess the faster you are, the more the louder it is.
That's what it seems like.
Right?
Because if you ADS walk, you're quieter.
Yeah. So Okay. Footstep pitch changes on player elevation. So this has already been introduced, but are they just reiterating this stuff just to like say that, hey, they've improved it?
Yeah, compared to previously.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Ladder sounds amplified and adjusted based on player movement speed. Same thing as well. I guess as the faster you go up the ladder, the louder it is, the slower. I remember you could slow crawl.
Yeah, you could
and it'd be silent. Yeah, that used to be a thing. Boosted audio cues for jumping, landing, and distinctive ceiling footsteps to clearly indicate player running overhead. Again, I really hope they do a big differentiation, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm trying to say, between above you and below you. Because right now, like you can kind of tell. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It's a little bit hard to fucking tell between the two, right? Then go down, JD. Cloth, gear, mantling, change the way things sound. Cloths, you know, I don't know. Loot supply boxes, audio pitch now dynamically adjusts based on vertical elevation, providing clear vertical positional feedback. Hopefully, it actually works.
I think also this goes back to kind of what we were talking about, where they're differentiating from the base game as well with the audio, because obviously the audio needs to work differently in Warzone than it does in multiplayer. And it's good they finally acknowledged this, because I felt like every time we got a new iteration, Warzone's audio got fucked up. And then they had to figure out how to use the audio engine that got updated for their own systems.
Yeah, and the cloth and gear thing, I think that the audio is gonna sound like way crispier.
I hope so. I hope, like, bro, the distinction and like the days of us not being able to hear shit are over. Right? I hope. Right? And then to finish the entire shit off, it's just a whole bunch of bugs fixes. Boys, is there any bug fixes here that are worth going over?
I didn't read any of these, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't either.
I can try to quickly go over them. So
wait, fix an issue. Wait, hold on. Fix an issue causing players to be eliminated when mantling on the care packages. They're removing care packages. What do you mean they fixed that? See, this is what I'm talking about. They fixed that bug, but there's no care packages. So what the hell does that even mean?
Uh-oh.
Well, they fixed it in case it ever decides to come back.
Yeah, so that shows that like it's not actually going away. It's just not here right now.
Yeah.
That kind of just shows that they could change the entire game back to what we just had if they really want to.
I mean, bro, like I look, this
maybe
all these
Rebirth
bug fixes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. That's actually not
There's
a bad
no most
shout.
wanted reward crate. They just said they're removing that too. This is what I'm talking about. They said most wanted rewards don't drop crates anymore, but they fixed an issue where it eliminate you.
When man saying fix an issue where players were eliminated upon the most wanted reward, fix an issue causing a UI error preventing players from creating new loadouts. That was actually a big one. I'm glad they fixed that. Fix an issue causing a dev error when opening the armor challenge menu. Fix an issue causing a dev error when exiting private matches. Fix an issue where the Corvus Master Key underbarrel occasionally cause instant downs at any range. What the fuck?
I didn't know that. That's funny though.
Fix an issue preventing the Cordmaster suppressor from unlocking properly. Fix an issue causing certain equipment to duplicate upon redeployment. Fix an issue where players would teleport across the map when using a center in the pregame lobby. I remember that. Fix an issue where the incorrect display of all full activation IDs. Fix an issue where players lost control after jailbreak revivals. Fix an issue where the gas mask overlay not aligning properly with
We talked about that in
boundaries.
November. Do you remember that? I showed you guys that. I brought the visuals. That was all the way from November.
Where players lost control after jailbreak revivals?
Yeah, remember
yeah,
I
you would just
I couldn't
die.
look around. Yeah, and I couldn't look around. I
yeah.
could run. Yeah.
I remember that. Fix an issue preventing restocking of Gulag lethals and tacticals from ammo caches or munitions boxes. Fix an issue allowing infinite submissions of biometric keycards. Fix an issue causing loss of player control when interacting with a loadout after redeploying from the Gulag. That one, Dr. Mans is going to love that. That one was pretty crazy. Fix an issue causing incorrect cache displays for spectating players. Fix an
That's
issue causing
huge.
loss. Yeah, that one's big, especially from telling your homies, pick me up. Right? Diaz is gonna actually love that one. Fix an issue causing incorrect fix an issue causing loss of field upgrade deployment ability after using a loadout. Fix an issue with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 camo descriptions not clearly stating weapon level requirements. Scroll down. Fix an issue preventing immediate weapon fire after cutting a parachute. Yes, bro. That one's actually big. That happened to me so much. I would land on somebody and I would go and I would aim and I would just be stuck aiming down, not shooting them. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So if they fix that, fix the issue causing obituary messages to overlap with the squad widget in the HUD, fix the issue causing incorrect elimination crediting to uninvolved players. That one was a big one in customs. So glad finally after 6 months they fixed it. Fix an issue causing fix an issue with contract icons incorrectly displaying elevation information. Fix an issue where bunker buster gas damage bypass gas masks if equipped within the gas.
That one was a big one.
Fix numerous legacy weapon descriptions and statistics. And then finally, fix an issue preventing Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 weapons from appearing correctly in the loot feed. Holy shit. All right. So these are all great. My only question, or I guess concern, how many bugs will be introduced on Thursday?
Hey, there's going to be a lot. I do got to take off though.
Yeah.
So,
Jay, go.
Fellas, Everybody here, appreciate y'all tuning into the podcast, man. We went over everything. We will have another podcast on next week, hopefully going over how we all feel with the first week playing the game.
Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully it's all
good.
smiles.
Fingers crossed, man. Everybody at home, we appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. JGOD, thank you for being a trooper, man. We've been here for a while now, for now 3.5 hours. I didn't think it was going to go that long. But Ebatez, Hunter, JGOD, as always, man, we appreciate you guys always hopping on the podcast. And everybody at home, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, 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 peace.